And here it is. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. Gather, come join. One man went to Mo. We're doing it again. We're having another session, a slightly different session from what we traditionally have. So it is a politics and lifestyle sort of a platform. So in this session, we're departing completely from politics to take on the lifestyle space. So we are departing from politics to take on the lifestyle space and really to discuss a phenomenon that I have been noticing, probably some of you have been noticing, that is going on globally. So it is really the plight of the black female that we're looking to discuss. So what I have been noticing is that because the black male has become a flavor of the global female just over the last decade or two, suddenly that has seems to have suddenly rather that seems to have pushed the black female somewhat further down the pecking order. So they don't even have first access to their male. This is a phenomenon that is going on globally, and I would want us to discuss it. One man went to Mo, the eagle has landed.
Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart. How much you listen, and you listen, and you listen, and you listen, and you did it right from the start. And you did it right from the start. Missing someone is as normal. Missing someone and missing someone is as normal. Missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart. Missing someone. I am sad and so down. I am sad and so down.
All right, so there it is. So the thought struck me to do this video when I came across a video on YouTube. It was about this black chap that went to the Philippines to start to date Filipino women, and that struck me. But of course, I know that black men date Filipino women, but it especially struck me that that is another layer of women that black women have to compete with. So traditionally, going back just a couple of decades, the only real competition that the black female had for the black male was the white female. You know, that was essentially the bulk of the fetish that well, let me not call it a fetish, but it is somewhat of a fetish. The fetish that the black man had a few decades ago was towards the white female. But as the world gets smaller, the options get more plentiful, and the black male is starting to discover that he's quite is quite the peak of so many other races, and he's now enjoying that this smaller world is now presenting. So that really struck me off the back of that video, and I've been looking into it. So let me just bring you a couple of articles that speak to that space and then see if anybody wants to take it on as a talking point. There's a hyperlink in the comment section. Let me just highlight it here. So there's a hyperlink in the comment section that says StreamYard. So if this is something you have thoughts about, then come join me on the screen and let's have a conversation around it. But let me just bring you a few articles around this talking space. So this one is, maybe I should even share the screen with you. Let me share the screen with you so you can read along if you so choose. So let me share the screen with you. Let's just go, and there's that one, and there is this one, and here you are. So there you are. So in search of black on black love is what this person has put out. This was put out in February 20. This was put out in February 2018. So I've not really had a good look at it. The headline is just what struck me. So let's just see what he has to say. It says, is it really true that good black men are hard to find? This week, we are taking on some long-lasting stereotypes about black on black love. So this is Natalie, and she's asking, I am an attractive, social young black woman from Houston, and I can't seem to land a black man. I support and participate in interracial friendships and romance, so much so that strangers frequently comment on the college brochure cover level of diversity going on in my social circle. So much so that strangers frequently comment on the college brochure cover level of diversity going on my social circle. But I have always desired and expected black love, like my parents, grandparents, and great grandparents had. I would not say I am waiting for a black man, but the older I get, the more weddings I attend where my brothers or cousins marry a white woman, the seemingly intentional lack of eye contact I receive, whilst black men sidle up to my non-black friends in the club, the more I feel it will never happen for me. I wanted my baby hair to be baby hair. So I don't know quite what that means. I wanted my baby hair as in HEIR, with baby hair. So I wanted my baby hair with baby. That might well be an Americanism. I wanted my baby hair with baby hair and afro, Jackson 5 nostrils, etc. What are your thoughts on this phenomenon, and what can a black woman do to protect herself from feelings of rejection? So this is the thing now. So they even acknowledge it. So he said, luckily, this is a conversation I have had with friends, family members, co-workers, even a professor I had in college. And it is never easy because to answer your question, we have to unpack some truth, some myth, and some painful realities. So first, the truth. Dating is hard for a lot of people, but for black women in the United States, it can be uniquely horrible. For one thing, we are often expected to conform to white beauty standards. So let's just pause there for a moment. So there is something in that the universal beauty standard is somewhat a white beauty standard, because the beauty standard is that svelte, almost androgynous type of body shape with straight hair. So and the black sort of form is more pronounced in terms of the body shape, and the hair, of course, they describe it as kinky, but I've never really liked that word, kinky hair. But our hair is more condensed on our head, and it's not at all a straight flowing hair like you get with virtually every other non-black. I think outside of the black race, everybody else has a different and almost identical hair form. So, but the beauty standard, yes, that is advertised globally is somewhat of a Caucasian lilt. So let's take that again. It says, so first, the truth. Dating is hard for a lot of people, but for black women in the United States, it can be uniquely horrible. For one thing, we are often expected to conform to white beauty standards. For another, we are up against a whole parade of racist stereotypes that we are angry, overbearing, lazy, prudish, and hypersexual and emasculating all at once. Oh, and we can't take a joke. Those stereotypes and expectations do two things. First, they limit the pool of people who are interested in dating black women. And second, they often create situations where we, as black women, try super hard not to fit into those categories. So rather than relaxing and trying to have fun with potential dates, we are caught up in the impossible game of trying to seem fun and ambitious and feminine and flirty, but not too flirty. And to help us out, we are told, oh, so somebody keeps beeping at my phone. So I'm going to have to, pardon me, I'm going to have to block this person at some point. Um, okay, so where were we? And to help us out, we are told to listen to relationship advice. Yes. And to help us out, we're told to listen to relationship advice. As Dimitri Lucas put it, that comes from experts with screwed up views about sex and gender. So on it goes, but to get to the thrust of it, it is essentially the dilemma of the black female and her place now in the dating world. So the dilemma of the black female and her place in the dating world. So let me see if anybody is actually on there to take it on because there's not really that much to read out on this, but it's really more of a conversational piece. So Thomas, I see you. Ajale Koko, I see you. Ovie, I see you, and Joel, I see you.
Can I speak first, please? I'll do so.
Yeah, go on, Ovie. So a departure from the usual politics, but a phenomenon that I have been noticing, probably you notice as well, the place of the black woman in the dating space. Has she been abandoned because the competition now gets fiercer? Latinos, Asians, etc. It was only white people that black men went to before. So is this a phenomenon you have noticed, and what are you making of it, Ovie?
Pardon my divergence a little bit. One man, the whole world, every Nigerian that has a platform, TV, radio, everybody is celebrating to be Amuso. And it's a woman event too. I don't know why you put this one. And I was joining. You want to get a lot of viewers this morning. I actually left the platform just to come because I like this. But yes, the whole world right now, every Nigeria, anywhere you are, they are celebrating what has never been achieved before in that sport and world athletics. She ended up breaking the world record again by winning gold medal, but it was wind aided. So she clinched after breaking the world record in semifinals. She came back 45 minutes later and won the gold. That's never happened before.
Did she break the record twice?
Break it twice, but the second one was wind aided. The legal wind accepted is 2.0.
Right. Okay.
Zero is not accepted. So I think she had a win at 2.5. But that's not really what is it. But the most important thing that she won the gold, breaking the semi-finals, and she won the gold. And what makes it even more significant, even at that, I said it yesterday, at that semi-final, everybody was in her heat. The then world record holder, an American, Karen Harrison, was in her heat. The Jamaican, the former ex-world champion, was in that. So it was a complete hit, and she destroyed everyone. Then she keep it calm. Yeah, she's been trained by a Jamaican lady too, by the way. So she keep it calm, come back 45 minutes later, bam, she clinched the goal, which in another world record time, 12:06. But as I said, because of the wind rating, they did not put that into consideration, which is not even important anyway. But winning the gold is very significant. The first time we had a medal in that event was during Gloria Alozi. Maybe you will know her. She ended up representing Spain. But what she has done is something that the world athletic will never forget. Not that they will not forget in a hurry. They will never forget. So, and it happened in the last year of World Athletics. The stadium was packed. Every man, it was just so. If you go Twitter now, everywhere is just incredible. I think even our president, both incoming, both contender, everybody was just throwing congratulations our way, and she deserves it. So she has done something that For once at least, the whole world is talking positive about Nigerian sport. Apart from, if you recall what we went through past 2 years and last year, drugs and every other thing. And she's homemade, she's homegrown. She was born, apart from she was born and bred in Ijebu-Ode, she started her career in Ijebu-Ode by a local coach and everything. She just ended up getting a scholarship to go to the US. So, and for the past 4 years, she finished 4th at the Olympics. She missed the podium. Following year, she finished 4th again at the World Championship, missed the podium, but she still keep it calm. For her to
that was going to be my next question. I mean, was there a build up to this, or did she just come from nowhere to come and take it?
No. She didn't come from nowhere. As I said, the last Olympics, she finished 4th. She finished 4th at the last World Championship. She came and she broke the African. She won the African Championship early this year. She's a Commonwealth champion. She's not. She's an NCAA champion. NCAA is the collegiate athlete. So she's not. It didn't just come from nowhere. She's been expecting. Everybody has been say, okay, yeah, this is her time. Because even she started the championship from the East by breaking the national and African record, which she owned by the West at that time. So it is not something that just happened out of the blue. It was expected. But because the event is so competitive, as I said, the current world, the world record winner before was the world championship. I mean, the event is one of the most competitive events in world track and field history. So it's not that it's a fluke. It was expected, especially
she beat everybody to get it. She beat everybody
in his style. Yeah, she destroyed the whole field. So the way she did it was, yes, it was a shocker. Even though, yes, it's kind of expected, but she was not the favorite coming to the champ. Let me put it that the world record and the former world champion, those are the favorite. But she was up there. She was top 3 in the world coming into the championship. But because of what happened, the 2 previous editions that she finished 4th, nobody was kind of for the fact that she's an African. So the kind of way to look at them that when it comes to the heat of the moment, we always fail to the last but at this point she had it cool. Started shattering record from the day she stepped into the track, in the last moment that she cleared that one championship. And if you take your time to watch the ceremony when they played the Nigerian national anthem, I mean, everybody that watched that was all emotional, crying. I mean, it was something very spectacular. So yes, try and exploit that space and bring it to talk about it. People will like to click and watch it, because other platforms that are talking about getting a lot of views and generating a lot of positive comments.
I don't know anything about sports, as you know. I only know Newcastle United, but
you got me, man. You have me, and she's once my teammate, so it's somebody I know. I can tell you, and again, there was also you should know Michael Johnson,
of course.
Yeah, so Michael Johnson was a commentator in one of the American TV at the venue, and she started also criticizing the race already that there's something wrong with the time. You need to see how the whole world come after him. The guy had to.
No, that guy is a racist. He's a black man, but he's a racist. He used to come to the UK and do the same as well against black.
You know him very well.
They call people like that Uncle Toms. It's an Uncle Tom.
Yes. Yeah. Like the whole world came after the guy. The guy had to turn his comments off on Twitter. I said, man, you know what? Nigerians never wake up. Nigerians sleep. I mean, when he break his own world record, he took 3,400 of the seconds of the former world record. Nobody thought. Toby just took 8 seconds of the world record, and in the shout. The American girl that held the world record. In fact, when she break that world record, that's Kenny Harrison. When she break that world record I think it was in London when he break that record. When he break that record, in fact, she didn't even know that she broke the world record. They have to tap her, say, hey, look at what you did. And everybody was shocked. But this guy came out and celebrated and hailed him. But just because an African, somebody that they didn't, whatever their plan was at that night, did not just play according to as they wanted it. So the guy that I was excited, not just Nigerians now, because Nigeria never started the attack. The rest part of it was a come on, man. This is not right. And again, she's not the first person that broke a record in this championship. An American girl broke a world record too, but it was a longer distance, like the 400-meter hurdles. He broke it with style, and everybody
what was his criticism of what?
That something is wrong with the timing. Imagine that kind of thing.
No, that the clock was not working properly. That they should delete our world record, or
that's exactly what he's saying. that no, that the way, because it take 800 of a milliseconds off the world record. The world record was 12:20, so she ran it 12:12. Michael Johnson took 3,400 of a second off the previous record when he broke the world record in 1996 at Atlanta 96. Nobody questioned that. That is that. No, it was. I think they gave it to him. Like he had to turn off the comment.
Sorry. Remind me, who is the Minister of Sports in Nigeria again?
Now your brother, now your neighbor, that I said they should fire him. She should be fired because he told people, because I was
here all the time to run him down. Does he get credit now?
Even in this World Championship, they will see running down. He messed up, but because of what Toby did, we no one focus on the negative side. Because about 4 people were denied competing at this. I said it, like 4 people were also denied. The same thing that happened at the Olympics repeated itself again. And if you now come out and beat the chest, say yes, now input make Toby exploit. How much they give him? Nothing. You understand? So he no fit, but for the fact that it's a good thing.
Did you say she's a homegrown athlete?
Started from Ijebu-Ode.
Yeah.
She started from Ijebu-Ode before she got scholarship to UTEP. She's like local champion. That's where she started from.
So as you imagine, the politicians are latching onto it. Buhari very quickly congratulating her.
Buhari, Tinubu, Atiku, everybody is throwing congratulatory message and all that. So it's something, she has done something remarkable. So I won't be surprised if stadiums are be started naming after her and so many times. I mean, she deserves a diplomatic passport at this point because the other part of the world, that's what they're doing. What she did deserves a diplomatic passport. Like that's how significant this victory and exploit that performance is.
So the world of a real good news for Nigeria then. Yeah.
I think the other get to is a bromade that won silver the same night in a long jump. Yeah, right. She lost the.
What I've noticed whenever I pay attention to athletics, Nigerians only ever come 4th.
Yes.
Just, all through the decades, all through the years, they never come 5th though. And they never come 3rd. They only ever come 4th.
Yes, I mean, I think she's in a good hand. So because one of our closest brother, I would say, is in UTEP, who helped recruited her to UTEP, is a friend of mine. So when she break the world record in the semi-finals, we actually exchanged message. I say, "Kat, this girl, I hope she can kick her calm." So I now went to our coach Twitter feed. The coach said, No. We go because the coach, as I said, is Jamaican who has been to World Championship 3 times during her career. So she's very grounded too. So she told us, "Come, we came here to win the gold, not the world record. It's a plus, but hey, just take it off your mind. We are going back to that field and finish what we came here to do." And exactly that's what happened. So it is. As I said, last year she finished 4th. Last year was the Olympic, right? They shifted it from 2020 to 2021. She finished 4th, which is very
You said the former world record holder and the former champion were on that field.
Yes. The former world record was
towards the end. Sorry, Ovie, are they towards the end of their career or are they still in full pump?
No. But I think she's the youngest among these 2 people. The former world record watch that was with us is from Jamaica, and she won that world record 2015. So that was a long time. So yes, they are. But she is the youngest among all of them. She's apart from just another Nigerian girl who was in.
Ovie, we are losing you. All right. I think we've lost Ovie somewhat to those cheap American systems. So,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can now. Carry on.
So the girl represented Great Britain. So yeah, the field was a stark field. She's the youngest among all of them, among the people that are there now. Kenny Erickson is, but she's been in the game no longer than her, and she's a little bit more older than her. So yes, we are still going to see.
I have to apologize to that girl, Ovie, because when you told us the news yesterday, I thought, because when I thought back, I thought I was a bit too cynical in my response. Not that you were saying fake news, but that they will accuse her of drugs. So I hope they don't try, because and I think that's the window that Michael Johnson was trying to open, a way to deny her, because it's very important that this girl wins this medal and breaks this record. Because I've always thought, remember I said that Nigerians only ever come fourth in all these global meets. But I think there's a psychological barrier that they are not breaking, because they are talented, they are faster than the people that win, but there seems to be a psychological barrier that they cannot seem to break through. But with this girl now doing the double of the gold and the world record, so that then tells them that no, we can actually go there to the very front of the seat. So are you expecting that this girl's victory then will propel other younger upcoming Nigerian athletes to go for gold?
Yes. Now we are going to put pressure on the Federation and the Ministry of Sport to capitalize on our exploits to actually bring her home. And as I said, last year she started organizing a local competition for Ijebu, the secondary schools, and by extension the whole Nigeria. So we are going to capitalize on that. Make sure we explore what she did to make sure it trickled down to average Nigerian girl on the street from age 1 to as long as people are interested. Yes, they are going to capitalize. That's what we expected. Yeah, you make a very valid point that we always end up in a fourth position, or when it's time for us to step up before. And that has to do with the psychological aspect. That has to do with motivation from the government and from people around that. Because the truth is that an average Nigerian athlete, we have what it takes. We are strong, we have the techniques and everything, but that motivation is lacking. When you get to, I remember one of my friends, Gode James, when he was at the Athens Olympics 2004, he confessed that when they came out of the quorum is the room that when they march them up to the track, while they were on their line, this guy got carried away with what the Americans were wearing, the spiking shoe, the dress, to the point that when they called on your mark, the guy no know. So things like that. At that point, that is when the federal government should step up and do what they're supposed to do. Motivate these people. You are there to. Imagine you standing, you competing with the.
Have we lost again of it? I think we've lost again of it. Did you want to come in, Joel? We can hear you in the background. Joel,
okay.
Did you want to comment on that? Yeah.
Just to add to what, I wanted to ask Ovi a question, but
sorry, my neighbor. Since you say you are going to talk about it some other time, maybe I will come in as a special guest and expand, and and people should ask me a question within the good and bad, and I'll talk more about it.
All right. I think Joel wants to put something to you, but put it.
Let me just add this, please. And congratulations to the lady. I watched the competition, and congratulations to the Jamaicans as well. We were leading to what we're about to discuss today about the Black woman, and what the activities have been able to be. They really made us proud. Most of us remember the Onyalis, Choma Junwa.
I used to have a crush on her. I used to have a crush on her when I was younger, Mary Onyali. I think we all did, though. We all had a crush on her.
Mama, it's not too late. She's still single now. I can link you up.
No, she's not like I remember now.
I think it's a Yoruba thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Mary Onyali, Mary Onyali and Janet Jackson, those used to be my teenage crushes.
Oh wow! So Obie, please, I know. Probably you guys will have maybe cause to talk to those in power. When I was in high school, when I was in primary school, rather, we used to have primary school competitions.
Yes.
We used to have secondary school competitions. It does not happen by magic. This lady you're talking about now is a rare gem. It's a rare talent. So those kind of people, we get them once every maybe like 20 years. It's like talking about a LeBron. You're talking about a Kobe. You're talking about an MJ. These guys, or even a Corey. These guys come once in a while. We know there are a lot of basketball players. But when they talk about these guys, their names will live forever. That is the problem with us. We have wasted many talents from our primary school to the secondary school to the university. And when I came here, I never knew college football and college games is much bigger than the professional sports.
It's because that's where you move to the next level. Yeah.
You see,
They
you
are
go to
they're
the
already
game,
millionaires from college.
people, they are not millionaires though. They are not millionaires though. But the thing is that they have their scholarship, right?
Yep.
As you're going to school, you have your scholarship, and the reward now is okay. When you're
That's what
done,
brought me to
they see you
America.
on TV, you sell yourself, and you get drafted. That is if you don't get drafted, then probably you can go into coaching, or you can go into coaching at high school. You know, there are a lot of things you can do within that space. So please, when you are going there, they have a program, a primary, secondary, university program that will lead us into the professionals that we are going to take for competitions. Look at our home league, right? You see, sometimes it's not about the money, but how organized that we are. You know, how much we care or how much we show that, we care about these people. You take athletes. You take athletes to the other time. The athletes were in US here, and Mikel Obi had to pay for their
Yeah.
hotel bill, pay for their feeding. You understand what I'm saying? Like there are
Yeah.
certain things and when you go to the books, it was signed for.
Yes,
Every
that's
of
the
it is
thing.
signed for. That is my problem. So
Yeah.
it still goes back to leadership. But I don't want to make it about this morning.
All
What
right.
you
Thank
what
you.
you
It's
said
the Yoruba man,
actually
isn't it?
what you said
Okay.
actually answer one man's question that we always finish fourth and below. It is
Yeah.
that extra motivation because the performance is there. Anybody that made it to the world championship is as in the brother years are a game is equal to everyone. But that extra care, they believe that whatever that happens might have my back. They will support me to the last day. That is what is missing. That is what demoralized. That is what differentiates the person that finished first and the person that finished last. Actually, not actually how strong, fast they can run, they can throw, they can jump. No, that extra care, that believe that as soon as I'm leaving this venue, my people, my village, my state, my local government, my federation, my country will give me what I deserve, regardless of my position. I think that's what differentiates us from the Jamaicans, from the Americans. And again, we are to tell you that the talent is there locally. This year alone, even at this World Championship, the amount of students that represented the World Championship, Nigeria top second after the Americans. Imagine it's taking place in America. Even at the NCAA that is pretty much represent globally, Nigeria was second in terms of representative. And these young athletes are below 25. The oldest is not up to 25. So as time goes, leadership, if our government did not screw things up, Olympic is even going to be more glorious than this because these guys are
Obvious.
what?
Obvious. Is this not the same problem we are having with our education system?
Is the same
The
thing.
Nigeria,
I mean,
the same school that they tell us that it's not good in Nigeria. When the same Nigerians come here, they turn tigers.
yes.
You get where I'm coming from? So it is the same.
It's the same
The
thing.
thing. You see,
We just
there's
have to
something.
put because me especially, what I'm fighting for, I'm leading a group of other people to make sure our federation go autonomy. But I'm saying that the federal government should even stop giving us money. Nigerian track and field is about 78 years today, if I'm not mistaken. Started by 1945. Yes. If we have the Nigerian track and field have produced men and women who are not just stellar in their competition days, but we have a lot of doctors, engineers, lawyers all over the world, a lot of good pharmacists in America. So we already have what it takes within ourselves to run our federation without even government giving us money. We have the talent. People like Amusa now. With our exports, we should be able to raise nothing less than $200 to $300 million just to finance that federation. We don't even need government money anymore. But for the fact that government is still 100% in charge, imagine you as a president of a federation, you don't even have the power to operate the account of the federation.
You see, Ovie, that autonomy is fine But with that autonomy, you would need infrastructures, and that will mean the government having to cede the infrastructures to you, and that is where the
No,
difficulty
okay.
comes.
Just like what Joel is saying about America, the sport in America is not controlled by the government. Government don't get one stadium. They are all within the institutions of the
No, but the government but the government in Nigeria, they own the stadiums and the tracks now.
No.
So if you want to go autonomous, they have to
okay, yes. In Nigeria, yes. Yeah. No, of course, the facility that is that we are not saying they should give us 100%. That's not going to happen. They should just be a supervisory body. You understand? Of course, the stadium now government who are they going to be all get the government? So we utilize the stadium, but other little things, how to finance the individual athletes, where to camp, where to stay, their feeding, their welfare, and all that. Leave it to us. Let us go there. We have a lot of international companies. We have a lot of indigenous companies who are ready to put money behind these athletes. But because they don't trust the handler, which is the government, nobody wants to put in there. Just like you now, one man, if you get 100,000 one giver to sponsor any sport activities in Nigeria now, as soon as you leave that money in the hands of the handlers, it's gone. The competition will not be held. The athlete will not benefit from him. But we are saying, give us this money and be there, be part of our board, and tell us how you want this money to be spent. That is how it is done in every other developed world that actually exploit doing well in the world now. You see, so it's our time we take, just like even the Omedonyali that you mentioned, she was discovered in her secondary school days. You understand? So it's our time we take.
VA, one of the things that mystifies me the most on this planet is why and how Nigeria is not dominating in sports. We should only be out of every 4 Nations Cup, Nigeria should be winning 3 of them by our population and our talent.
Yes,
we should be dominating the Americans, or at least look, the Jamaicans are the ones competing in athletics. It should be the Nigerians.
Yes,
it is the Jamaicans that are pushing the Americans so they don't have full dominance. It should be the Nigerians.
One man, let me
even today, there are Nigerians competing for Italians, competing for United States, competing for Britain, competing for Canada in this same World Championship, but they are just wearing other nationalities, but they are all Nigerians.
Now, for Lake Ogunleye from Birmingham, from Oxford. When did Folake get to Oxford?
Imagine
now or something.
Go to Qatar, Bahrain.
She got there through slave trade. She got there through slave trade.
No, she got there with a green passport.
Who are fed up? The last Nigerian at this Otobide level was Gloria Alozie. What happened to Gloria Alozie? After he win medal for Nigeria, I decided to go say Nigerians are not treating her well. She went to Spain. So even today, even as we speak today, even as I was once in Qatar before running for a club.
All right, we've lost your VA, but
mistreated. I also reaching out to me, bros. I won't come up for this country. I won't come up for this country. Sneak me to any country. I won't go. So they are, up to today, we still dominate the world of sport via others like surrogate representing other country. So yes, we have our problem is management.
Okay, let me tell you how mismanagement has cost us something. Let me just give you just a short story. I'll make it very brief. You know the National Stadium, right?
That's my mom.
Yeah. No. The National Stadium is not in Oneko. But this is what happened, right? Before Nigeria 99, I don't know if you went to Nigeria 99 when we hosted the World Under 20.
World Junior, yes. World Under 20, right? Yes. I remember that.
I stay in off Papa Road, so it's like maybe say 5 minutes from
yes.
Right? So this is what happened. They renovated that stadium. They said, "Oh, this stadium was so bad, blah 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 blah." Right? But then they were still using it to play like some, club soccer and all that. They now said, you know what, that when the guys came to when FIFA came to look at the place, that they needed to increase the stand. They did all that. Do you know that after that, when they hosted Nigeria 99, it was awesome. If you went to watch soccer or football, as we call it, in National Stadium, Lagos, you enjoyed it. You come outside, you meet Majek Fashek.
It's always festivity, yeah.
Everything
the
going
festivity.
on. My brother, I came back to Nigeria in 2018. I went to National Stadium. They said we should go and let us go out. I said, where would they go? They said, would they go National Stadium? I said, okay. So we now went there. I look at National Stadium. I said, what is going on? It is a shadow of itself.
Oh, now what's it? Now one background now.
And opposite, they built testing Balogun. I mean, it's been there before. It was meant to. I think it was meant to be like a practice pitch. Now they now upgrade it to a full stadium. That is waste. So for you to have testing, you can build maybe like a mini stadium with testing, but you develop testing to the point that with the money they used to develop testing, you could have used a managed the national stadium. What is going on?
There's a one state, the slim state, while the national stadium.
It is killing us. This state property versus government property is
Joel,
killing us.
Joel, let me shock you. Joel, let me shock you.
You have a stadium, right? And you have a stadium, and you have one opposite, and the other one is functioning, and this one is almost gone. Now, if you go to National Stadium, it's joint. You have
National Stadium now crusade ground. White Teslim Garugu na campaign ground now. They stop there, they lock us out. Then as a national athlete, they will lock us out because they do crusade or they do one inside National Stadium. So it's still happening up to today. Nobody saying anything, it's still happening. So one man, I beg, so sorry for bombarding your channel. Now Yoruba girl, so I know you apologize.
Why do you keep saying she's a Yoruba girl? She's a Nigerian girl now. She's
one man for once. You retracted your words. Like I was following you because you had her name. Then you now said, oh, when you talked about her yesterday, probably you thought it was Alajunwa or somebody. Or
one man was just being cynic, being sarcastic.
I'm being silly too,
No, she's a Nigerian girl. There's a way that is trying to Yoruba her. She's
Jebu girl, Jebu to the world. This time around.
If she's not on your list, she's not mine. Yeah, go on.
One man, can I say something? Yeah.
Let's hear you.
I heard OV and this guy talking about the national stadiums. Yeah. I think you just have to look at it from the money aspect. It's all money. Everything boils down to
all right, we can hear you.
Maintenance money is still being given every month. There's still been money from the federal government and state government to maintain them every month.
No, I don't think the people working there are the ones to maintain it. I think the builders, there's a maintenance section of the builders that do that, and when the time reaches, they don't have no need for any approval. They just go ahead and maintain. But we don't have that in the contract. That is why you find a beautiful edifice dilapidating within a space of 3 years.
Can they privatize it? Can they privatize it?
Yeah, exactly.
No. Joel, what they did with the National Stadium, with the National Theatre in Onikon, is they ceded it to Lagos State, and now they are remodeling it. So that's what they should do as well.
Privatize it to Lagos State. Give it to a stadium. Yeah. Give it to a club. I mean, those days we have clubs in Lagos. Let them take those clubs. If they start playing in those clubs every weekend, at least people will start going there. The place will be good. You leave the place like that, there will be mud and algae everywhere. The place will be going down. Nigeria,
the money that the management are using that stadium to make is enough. I said that they host crusade every weekend, they host party they go lock us out. So they still earn million from a side, but it's just for the fact that federal government is in charge, state government is in charge. And to be fair to the federal government and the state government, there's money being approved every month for maintenance. But nobody they follow through. Everybody they chop the money. I mean, I think Dangote wanted to take over National Stadium in Abuja. I don't know how that one played out before they decided to name it Moshood Abiola. So they are not just the maintenance culture, which is we all know it's no longer a surprise to us now. Now the same way they happen for police, every other sector in Nigeria, now they happen for sports. Sport is not immune to them. So that's why I have to give Delta State and Ogun State. When I'm emphasizing that she's from Ijebu, because Ogun State government have decided to take it as a priority by building stadium in every nook and cranny of the state. Today, the same thing with Delta State. Delta State have over like 6 stadiums within the state. They get for Ogara, they get for Asaba, so that helps a lot. The same thing Ogun State is doing too. Ogun State gets more than 4 stadiums built already. So states are trying, but again, that ability for us to release it to private sector to take up the maintenance is where we are lacking, and that's because they are making money from it every day. Just as you said, if you go sit down in our clubs with the OJs of our blessed memory, there's a lot of even National Institute of Sport that is just right there by the stadium. NIS. The only thing that is functioning in that building is the restaurants. So it's the restaurant.
All right, thank you, Ovie. So Ovie, we'll take that on as a topic, and we'll arrange that with you because you, of course, we're lucky enough to have an ex-athlete as part of the team. So thank you, Ovie, for that. Do you have any thoughts on the topic that we're discussing, or?
Yes, as I think let me go by what the topic I saw that the women are competing for black men or men, as you put it.
Yeah, no.
Right?
What I'm actually, and I want to ask if you've noticed this as a phenomenon as well, that the black woman, she's been relegated even further in terms of the competing for the black man as a partner. Is this something you've noticed? And why do you think? Yeah.
I mean, it's right there in front of us, thanks to the hip hop culture too, where if you watch all the videos now, either white women or light skinned girls, and they put there. So everything speaks directly or indirectly to relegate it. So I understand what you're saying. But I think I have a different thought in all this. I think the fact that we decided, okay, we coming from, whereas a black man, the culture now the same everywhere. For the fact that we decided to abandon our own way of life and adopt that Western way of life, that's the beginning of the problem. I mean, I envy my dad during his days as a star boy in the 50s and in the 60s. This man, you are allowed, they go marry as many as you have, and the women are free. Women I have stepmothers who left, go outside, have a full-blown relationship, have kids, they say come back, and life continues. So the freedom is there for both women and men to actually live as they want. But these days, since we decided to say, oh, you have to marry one, you must marry. So that's the beginning of our problem. As I said, during my parent days, like I never seen.
I've never heard. I don't understand.
I don't understand either.
No, okay. Now you are saying they are competing. Why are they competing?
No.
Because there's not one woman. You have in many societies today, you are allowed to just marry one wife.
No, but even if you're allowed to marry plentiful of women, because what I have noticed as a phenomenon is that if you go back 2 decades even, the choices that the black man was conjuring with is either to marry in his own race or to marry a white woman. So that was the choice that the black man had to make. But now, in this now shrunk world, this now small world that we live in, the black man now he finds that he's desirable to the Latino woman, to the Asian woman, to the Indian, to the Arabs, to the everybody. So now the competition for that black man is now multifold. But then the black woman, she's still somewhat only there for the black man. Yes, of course, there are black women marrying interracially, but predominantly the black woman is still there for the black man. But the black man now has plenty more other options, which seems to have relegated the black woman even further. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So are you saying, okay, now you saying that is the man fault, or is that a good thing as a black man? I mean, black don't crack, as they say. I say,
Yeah, but is it a good thing for the?
Can
Go
I
on.
speak? Can I speak on
is
this?
it a good thing for what? For the ladies?
Oh, yeah, for the ladies. But let's hear from. I think that's Brownberry. Yeah.
It's me, Branberry. This
Yeah.
is one of the topics that I'm most passionate about because mostly when it comes to the because I'm one of those that believe that one of the reasons why generational wealth is not flowing mostly in the black community, mostly in the West, whether in North America or in Europe, is because of this is one of the reasons. Is a big reason. Me, I'm almost. My problem is with the wealthy black, people, with the wealthy black men, whether they are in business or they are in sports, or they're in banking. I don't know why they are attracted to other race. I don't want to mention a particular race, why they are attracted to other race, because if you look at it now, if you go to Europe, if you look at all our athletes, whether they are soccer players, they are whatever they are doing, when they are all those that are involved in sport, I can tell you categorically that most 90% of them they have mixed race children. They are married to other race, and if you come to to North America, it's the same thing, So, and these guys, they are multi-millionaires and they have money when it comes to the basket. I mean, it's only few people that in NBA that are married to our race, and those ones I know
Sorry,
that.
Brownberry, is that not the color up there though? At that level of wealth and
No,
influence, is that not
no,
the
come
color?
on.
Is it not white at
So,
the
so, so,
top?
so the color of that wealth. I mean, are you saying that we don't have? Are you saying that those people, they left the hood, they left where we live, they left? Don't they have girlfriends? Don't they have high school girlfriend? Don't they have school girlfriend that they had while they were in university? So
Who do they interact with at their level of wealth?
they still interact with a lot of our people, with a lot of our race.
You think so?
Yes,
At the millionaire billionaire level, they are interacting with
no,
black people.
we are not talking about being a business. Like when they are doing striking their financial deals and all. That's not where they stay often. That's not where they party. That's not where they club. Okay,
No, but they don't club in the hoods anymore. They
I
club
know,
in
but they don't club in the hood anymore. But they still club around the people of their race. They don't.
No, they don't. That's what I'm saying.
They still do.
When they get to that level of wealth, their social circle will change, and
They
that
still do.
social circle.
Let me just finish. Let me
I
just
agree
finish
with
what I'm
one man.
saying.
I agree with one man.
Okay, go on.
Now, once they go over there, once they have the mixed race kids, and when those kids are growing up, because because the wealth has to leave the parents, and whenever the parents are gone, the wealth has to leave the parents and go to the children, and it is 99% that child is going to marry to another race. Before you know it, in next next 2-3 generations, our race is, in that wealth, with that wealth is totally wiped out. Okay, so because I don't know why they keep doing this. Because if you look, if you I don't know if anyone understand what I'm saying.
No, I understand, but maybe not agree.
So you don't agree that it's really happening?
No, I agree that it's happening, but it's almost an inevitability, Brownberry.
That it will not happen.
Okay, let's take the athletes that you've described. So he comes to discover his talent, and he's discovered around about 14.
And he's
so
making
they move
millions
him,
of dollars.
Yeah, so they move him from the ghetto, and then they move him to like some open green field, somewhere that is gentrified. So he's around these gentrified people. His diet will change. His language will change. The people he interacts with will change. So ultimately, he's going to end up with unless he makes a deliberate effort, as a matter of principle, to go and marry a black person, almost certainly, not even out of wish, but that's just all he sees. And it will end up with a white girl, yeah.
These people we are talking about, one man. They still mingle with people of their race. They just make a choice. They still mingle with people of their race. Whether where they, no matter where they go, they still mingle with people of their race. So they just make a choice to live. And what annoys me most is that those are the people that you will see in Black Lives Matter. They'll be actually, look at you. How are you gonna fight for your race when you are already, when you are already in bed on that race? What love do you have for your race? I mean,
okay. Why do you think it? Why do you think it is what you described? Is it inferiority complex? What is it?
I don't know. I guess so.
Can I come in, please?
And it is sad.
Yeah, land that point and then Babakure come in. Yeah. Brownberry.
Okay, I saw somebody. No, let him come in.
Okay, yeah, come in then, Babakure.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever you are. I think this is a very important point. And I think one of the reasons, because I'm not going to base it on wealthy people alone, I will generalize it. Once some people, when they left Nigeria and they move abroad, I'm not talking of moving to some unrecognized, I'm very sorry for that word. Some places where you are not going to have comfort. Take for instance, like somebody who traveled to Syria or travel to what is the name of this all this European, all this Asia country, right? I'm talking of traveling to Europe, traveling to North America, or traveling to Australia. When most people travel to those places, even though they have girlfriend back home, that they are very close, they believe that, okay, well, we are going to be one. We seems to be divert from that agreement that we had when we were home. The reason being that, you see, most people, when you because that is what I've already experienced from some of my friends and some of people around here. They believe that bringing somebody from home, when they come here, they will be so afraid that, okay, what if I bring this person, spend all my money, get passport, get visa, and then come here, and the person suddenly change. It will be the person that will be even sending you, even try to send you out from the own house that you even bought before she even came. So these are the things, these are the major factors that I see so far because I've been abroad now for going to 20 years now anyway. So that is what I've seen from that onset. It takes grace of God and commitment and principle of somebody who left Nigeria and said, oh, well, I want to go back home and bring that girlfriend that I have here. So many examples.
Yeah, but you don't have to go home now.
Baba Akure, are there no Africans?
Can I say something?
Are there no Africans abroad? Are there no Africans abroad?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
I mean,
can I say something, please?
Hold on, Xero.
I think.
Yeah,
I think we don't have a power. We don't have any control over this. It's a cosmopolitan environment you're moving into. I think what we should just look at is how to build motherland itself to be comfortable to the extent that our women should be free and prosper. But if you want to decide for the black man who's already traveled out of motherland, that's very impossible. It's impossible. He meets different races, different cultural backgrounds, and he's free to mingle. So wherever he ends, it only takes deliberate effort to avoid certain things. But if you build Africa, you'll not be talking about where the wealth is going. Build the wealth in Africa, let it stay.
But
that's just my idea.
Xero, I'm not necessarily limited to Africa. I'm even talking about traditional blacks that are traditionally American, European, etc.
All right.
You have to understand that. You have to understand that the reason why it is this way is that the one you see in Europe or America has a different mindset. The mind is different, and that is where that's the key thing.
Is that heavy noise coming
That's the key thing. That's the key thing. You cannot have the same. It's not the same thing with the one back home, and you know it. You know it. The mind is different, and that is the key thing here. Thank you. I can't talk much.
Thank you, Xero. I'm going to ship into what you just said. I have some, like I said, like you said, rather. I have some friends They live in abroad and then they marry a black American. So that mindset of okay, coming from Africa is going to be different from a lady that a black lady that you find in America, because we Africans still don't really believe in this issue of 50-50. That where it is 50-50, so you pay 50 and I pay 50. Most African African men don't really believe in that. If you want to contribute, well, fine. But the issue of okay, well, this is what you have to do, and I have to do this, and this is causing a lot of problem in marriage.
But what was your living, right? You should
And I think this one.
Sorry, there's who's that? I think that's Brownberry. Brownberry, please mute yourself. There's a lot of background noise from you. But carry on, Babakure. Or I think we've lost Babakure. But let's bring Celibase into the conversation. So are you still with us, Babakure?
Yeah, I'm with you. It's just that we are doing some construction here.
I was with us from Jamaica, and she won the world record 2015.
Yeah.
So yes, but she is the youngest among all of them.
All right. So yeah, round off your thoughts, Babakure. Celis, can you use a headphone or something? There's a lot of background noise everywhere. But Babakure, back to you.
So it is difficult for black men to marry from abroad. It is very complicated issue anyway, because even the one we are bringing from Nigeria, so you don't even know when they come to US, they turn to another thing entirely. So now people will prefer, okay, well, I think I just have to marry those people that I'm here, that I'm not really going to spend my money on bringing from home, and then they turn to another thing. That is one of the problems that people are having right now. I met a guy yesterday, he was still saying the same thing, that well, he went back home and married his girlfriend, and he hoped that she's not going to change when she comes here. Even my own cousin, I was the person that we call somebody intermediary alliance between them. The lady got to Western world now, and she changed totally. And this was the person that when you put water in her mouth, that water will not even come out. So these are the things that.
Sorry, how is that an excuse to go marry out from your race? Babakure, these are not excuses, really. No, it's not excuses.
I'm showing you an example now. So many examples. I don't know where you live. Have you heard about the story of a wife killing husband in US? Meanwhile, the same husband brought them all the way from home.
I've heard that you are talking about 1 out of a million. So we're talking about 1 out of a million every time.
It's not one out of million. How many of them divorced in their marriage?
Oh, okay. If you marry from other race, won't divorce happen? It doesn't matter if you marry from other race, divorce can still happen.
I am telling you what I've seen so far, and what my friend has told me, and what I have studied so far.
Yeah, but it's not. It's still not an excuse.
Me, I don't have any problem. When I left Nigeria, I had girlfriend, and my girlfriend of course became my wife, and I brought her abroad.
So you see, so yours is working. So if yours is working, millions are working too. So
all right, let's hear from Joel, because I'm not really and Joel, I'm not necessarily limiting it to Nigeria, because it's a global phenomenon. The black man, he has suddenly found himself the flavor of the month in terms of all of the women internationally, and they are exploring. You don't see so many mix. I'm now even seeing black men with actual Indians from India. So the field is now so saturated, and the black woman now, she's relegated further and further, being put upon so many pressures and stereotypes, to the point now that you see just a plethora of young, beautiful. I know countless young black females that you are pretty educated, and you're wondering why they're well-mannered, and you're wondering why they are not married. You know, Nigerian girls are born and raised in the UK. They are now even going to Nigeria to expand the scope of search. So what are you making of this phenomenon, Joel?
All right. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. This issue is an issue that is so dear to my heart. And I think it was Brownberry that, wanted, spoke towards what I was about to, or what I'm about to talk about. But in this issue right now, because I did a study on this and I'm be passionate about this, and most of you know, if I'm passionate about something, I could flare up a little bit. So excuse whatever attitude I give today on this matter, because I'm so passionate about it. Now we are talking about Black women and marriage. It is true. In the United States, single motherhood in the United States stands at 79%.
Amongst
You
blacks?
ask, amongst blacks. The divorce rate in the United States stands at about 60%, generally. And the main causes is what? Finance. That's number one. Secondly, infidelity. I did a paper on this. I wrote a paper on this sometime in 2012. And, but since we are talking about Black women, I just want to concentrate on Black women. And let me come from the American part, because what I have seen that is happening is, if America fart, then we perceive the smell, we start perceiving the smell in Africa. What is going on in America today is a disgrace, and it's becoming a pandemic. If you do not stay here, you wouldn't understand where I'm coming from. The absence of fatherhood, of fathers in Black America, it is a bad omen. Now, we were talking about why, because Brown was saying something about when these guys, why is it that when they, they have girlfriends, and, when they get this money, that they don't go for the white lady. Now, we have to start looking at attitude. When you go on social media, because they say out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. You start seeing this trend. Whenever there's a trend from the United States, we in Nigeria, we're grabbing. Whatever thing that is happening, these days now, you can now show your belly, naked, because you're pregnant. Where did they get that from? It's the United States. There is no more dignity in how our women dress. And it comes with arrogance.
But they not necessarily be competitive, though? They can be demure and conservative when everybody else is sexy and svelte.
No, the thing there is this. Your sexiness does not lie in you dressing shabbily. And what happened is that our women have taken up that culture. That hood rat. Sometimes Nigerians, you see, mind who you emulate. Who are those that you look up to? When Nigerian people are looking at videos, they are looking at the Rihannas. These are artists. Rihanna is $1 billion lady. She can do anything she wants. She can buy anybody. But for you, that is still low there. If a Cardi B is saying, I can't cook, I can't clean, you cannot use that as your own and start saying, oh my goodness. It is this attitude.
Sorry,
what
Joe.
They say,
Sorry,
what
Joe.
They say is, okay, go ahead.
Go on. Land your point, and I wanted to put a position to you.
Okay, so what these men face with their girlfriends, because this attitude that you see, this hoodback attitude that you see, this confrontational attitude that you see, not all men are cut out for it. I'm telling you about the American story. And what do? Immediately they make that money, they want peace of mind. They believe that at least let it be that they come back home. Somebody will talk to them in a soft voice. Not, I don't know what you are talking about. Some people are not cut out for that. And their men are getting tired of it. Now, that is not the singular reason. The black man in the United States, because of most of them are raised in single mother homes, especially this generation that is coming up. They are 10 times more likely to drop out of school. They are 10 times more likely to join gangs because the absence of the father in the home is making them look for that father absence. So what do? They join gangs. Now, this thing I'm telling you are studies that have been made. Now they are 10 times most likely to die. They are 10 times most likely to be incarcerated. So when you come to the United States now, for instance, you now say, who are those that are available? Those that are incarcerated, that chunk is out. Those that are dead, that chunk is out. Those that have records, even when they have gone to in jail and they get out, they cannot get good jobs. Most ladies will say, I don't want to get married to someone that just got out of jail. That chunk is out. Then the good ones that are even available, they might have been in a relationship. So who's out there for them?
Joel, would
So
you
it is
say
so easy.
that's an element, but would you really say that the competition is really the main reason? And the only reason why I'm saying it is the Eastern blocks has opened up, so that has released the Ukrainian girls, the Russian girls, all the Vakian girls. So they are in play, they are young, they are pretty, and they are ready to go. So the Asian space has opened up as well. So all these
Yeah.
Filipino women, the Malaysian women, etc. North Africa is opening up as well. So now the choice is that much more plentiful. And everybody, there's a particular thing about the black male that every female seems to prize. So that competition for the black male is now more than ever, is has increased more than it ever was. So the black male has even more of a choice now. Whereas the black female, their choices are still limited to essentially predominantly the black man and occasionally the white man. So because of competition, they've been pushed further down, the black female.
Yes, but the thing there is this, right? At the end of the day, our mothers will still tell us, marry from my village or marry from our tribe so that I can be able to speak to my daughter-in-law. It's not if I want to speak to my daughter-in-law, I'll be speaking English, right? At the end of the day, there are still more black men married to black women. But I get where you're coming from. All these blocks are open. But what is changing, what is pushing those black men out, is what Babakure just said. Why is it that when immediately we leave Nigeria and we go to abroad, everything about our culture is now bullshit? People say it's no issue. It is an issue. So you can see how this issue, because if we traveled less, like what Brown said, if we make motherland good, less people will travel less. Then the options there will be people around them, right? So you build those wealth within you. But the more you travel, it now depends. When I travel and I see somebody, a lady is so nice to me, naughty and all that, sometimes it could be sympathy. It could be a lot of things. When you go to abroad, you have many things facing you, and you have to make those decisions in order to go because you know if you are pushed back to where you're coming from, it's going to be a disaster for you. So
Can
you don't
I
want
add a
to
word,
go.
please?
Go
Yes,
ahead.
I was coming to you next, Sally. So yeah, Sally, a female voice. The topic is this something you've identified as well, Sally? And what are you attributing it to?
What is the actual question? I've been listening to the conversation.
The
What?
question is that as the black female been further relegated due to the plentiful of options that is now available to the black male? And I'm wrapping that around the suddenly interest in black males from a variety of races of women, whereas they were once upon a time the traditional preserve of just the black female mainly and the white female. But now, because of the other options plentiful available to the black male, the black female is further relegated in her search for a partner.
Well, I think the black female will always be a survivor, and that's the way it's always been. Um, Quite a lot is going on. There's quite a lot of pressures, on the black females as well. Even in our Nigerian society, you find women who are like even 70 still going to add extra bombs and extra boobs and things like that. These are all pressures, yeah, societal pressures. One time ago you would say natural woman is the best, but these days, because of technology and advancement, so much is going on, and you see a woman who is like a certain age and she looks like she's never been touched. So women, we have those pressures, basically to look good as well. And I'm talking about black women. However, we are more likely not to indulge in all these uh, operations and medical procedures that would make you look a certain way. Whereas in other societies, they are like more individually minded. Like, let's say you want to go and do it, you will have a sister who will tell you, don't go there, oh, don't go, don't use this, don't use that. But with them, other societies, the Western societies, even the Chinese and so on, they just go and do what they want to do, and they have belief in that technology that is available for them to get that done once it's confirmed. But as we have fear, not only of the repercussion of having some kind of disability or injury out of this, but what will our people say? That this is what you remember what happened to Stella Obasanjo, and people didn't stop talking about it. Listen, the woman went through a procedure, she died, you know, but because it's that specific procedure to make herself beautiful, then people had even Alabisi and things like that. When people die of going through these procedures, what is said is usually much, hurtful to the families, because, they've lost someone, but all people want to talk about is how they died, So there's quite a lot of things around. And
Uh,
as for those,
Sally, do you find that the black female is staying single for longer? And if you agree that that is the case, why would you say that is the case? Because I know, in fact, just plentiful of them young girls are educated in their early
Mhm.
30s, mid 30s,
Mm.
just single and searching. Just so many of them.
Yeah, because they have pressures too, I mean, it's not all about love these days. These same pressures of having to look a certain way, have a certain job, be on a certain, kind of status, and looking for someone perhaps who has, rather than trying to, bring each other up, they're very individual now. I mean, everyone is looking for like kind of status. So they want to do this, they want to dress certain way, go to a certain party, certain, like I find with my nephews and my nieces, not particularly, no one particular, but in general, from what I perceive, within their generation, their friends and so on, they have a lot of pressure about the status of, this person. So they will move to a church or something like that because they're trying to get a certain guy and all that. And even in those churches, the competition when you arrive the church, even the heels that people are wearing, the level of the dress and dressing and everything is a pressure. So you just imagine you want to stay natural and just do as mommy says. You're not going nowhere. You're not getting
Sally, if I can interject a little bit, I would totally disagree with you. I wouldn't want to. I have a daughter, and I would not want to qualify her based on her looks. Character and culture is everything. This is not the reason why the black men are not going out, are not hitting up with are not hitting up with the black woman because of looks. I don't know how they got all that. I mean, looks can be, a very insignificant part of why the black man is not getting married to the black woman. It is deeper than looks. And by the way, who told you black don't crack? It doesn't matter where you go cut up yourself. Have you seen the surgery the white women do? They do surgery. Black women, even in Nigeria today, they do surgery.
You see, what you have to realize is not just about doing the surgery itself. There's also pressure on finances and where this money is going to come from. In some cases, you're trying to please guy A, but you have to collect the money from guy B. I'm telling you about the pressures that Nigerian young women
No, but that is not the reason why the black man. That's not the reason why the black man is not getting married to the black woman.
No, because they don't want to marry the black man, just like that, for nothing. They don't want to marry a black man.
Can I say something?
They don't want to marry a black man that hasn't got anything to offer.
Can I say something? Have you guys seen the marriage, the wedding in the black community? Have you seen how expensive these things are?
Exactly.
These weddings are far more expensive than you think. That is one. And then I have another problem again. Why is it that all our black women are having wigs? What happened to the natural hair? That's another thing I personally find a problem.
This is what I'm trying to say. Is that the pressure is that at one time, if you don't have a Brazilian wig, you're just not in. You understand? So that pressure, all the other women are wearing it. All the young women are wearing it.
But that's competition. That is competition amongst women.
Yes.
It is not for the looks not from the guy.
But it's a pressure. It's a pressure.
No. It's a pressure, but that's not the reason why the black man is not getting married to you. Actually, you can even get married faster by putting on your natural hair. Like Exewa is telling you right now, probably everyone is on Brazilian hair. And he sees that lady without a Brazilian hair. And he goes for that lady. You see, the character is everything. What are we trying to emulate? You see,
are you saying, Joel, are you saying that the black woman has an attitudinal problem?
It is an attitudinal problem.
Is that a stereotype? Because I've heard that before, that they are too aggressive.
It's not a stereotype. You see, let me tell you something. I was going to get to somewhere about the media, how the media, and we had this Jim Crow law. Those that stays in America knows about the Jim Crow law, where if a woman wants to get something from the government, one of the conditions is that the man will not be in the house. So if you want to get like food stamps, you want to get like a Section 8 to pay for your rent, to help you pay for your rent and all that, the man must not be in the home. So many women took that route. Now, this is for America. Do you understand what I'm saying? But now, what happens now is that we now have a crop of bitter ladies on social media. And now we are now pushing their agenda. The agenda is also pushed by those in the main media. Go and see the NBCs, the ABCs, the people that are promoting, the people that are presenters on their TV shows are either divorcees, single moms, or the LGBTQ. That is what is going on. Our women are emulating. So when you are in Nigeria and a Cardi B is saying, I can't cook, I can't clean. Cardi B is a billionaire. He's a billionaire even in Nigerian money. And you say you can't cook, you can't clean. You not keep shishi. Your husband no keep shishi. And you want to go and say you can't cook, you can't clean. Then how will you guys manage? How would you guys build a
It's the
home?
pressure. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You know,
No,
it's a pressure. Because,
pressure to don't cook and clean.
well, it's a class pressure.
No, is it a
because
class pressure? Or is it a competition pressure?
it is a class pressure because even you see when your house girl, your so-called house girl that you're looking at in your house in Nigeria. Sorry, let me just make this point.
No, it's Bartholomew. Sorry, carry on.
Okay, so even your house girl, like I mean, I've never had a house girl. Even when I stayed in Nigeria with my kids, I just managed them. But I mean, my other sisters, they had house girls, and the house girl is just looking at the madam, and all she's thinking, tomorrow will be mine. Tomorrow will be mine, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing to the next person. So this is just how the society has become, whereby, people just think about, yes, like you say, competition. Yes, it's a kind of show off. But then this is what I'm saying. It's like, pressure. Pressure is usually when there's a certain paradigm and it's like, this is the way we do things here. You just have to be like, you either follow the herd and suffer it, and have fun, or you get out of the herd and become the black sheep. So this is how it is.
All right, thank you, Celis. But I'm still not convinced. But let me hear from Thomas. So Thomas, give us the Australian perspective. I'm not sure how much of a black population you have in Australia, but the phenomenon in Europe, I can at least tell you, is that because of the choices available to the black man, the black woman is struggling. But what is the experience in Australia?
One man, good evening, everyone. It's a little bit bad here as well. One man. The black men are facing here it's L. If I said L in the sense that our black women here, they have joined a group of Egbe Kilo Koshe, mean in Yoruba, what will our husband do? That's a group, that's a phenomenon going on here. Immediately their husband buy a house, they kick them out. They turn the house. I think maybe there's something, I don't know, maybe there's a spirit in them now here. Immediately they join house with the wife, the husband buy house here. The next thing is they will crook something against the husband, then kick them out. And here in Australia, wife and kids, if your wife go to the police now, say you slap him, they would not investigate. They will not. They believe what she said straight. There is no investigation. And if they call the intervention
again, I want to write it.
Sorry?
What did you say?
It's a Yoruba adage. Egbe kilo koshi. Meaning English. Egbe means group. Lokoshi. Okoshi. Yes.
What is Egbe? Okay.
Egbe is a
group. Yeah.
Okay. So I understand.
Oko is husband.
Yeah. What is it going to do?
Yoshe means what will they do? That means a group of people that said what will their husband do? That's what they have here now. That's the phenomenon going on here. So they kick them out immediately and they take possession of the house. And immediately you go to the police, they will kick the man out. My sister, they kick them out without nothing. Even they can't pack their clothes. The man will go out and start from scratch. If I say scratch, nothing, zero. I'm telling you,
Thomas.
Yeah.
I will know that yes, the law favor women here, but if such a situation happens, and that man can get a lawyer, there are some lawyers that are very good that specializes in what do they call?
You are talking about US. I'm
No,
talking of what tenable here.
the law, there will be a law on how you can defend yourself. You can put up your case at the law court and fight for your right. So, but the
It
problem
happens in
with
the UK here.
the,
When it happens here, there's no return. When a woman kick you, no back. Even you bought the house and you're owing. No way, you're not coming back.
no, there is
So I know
there
what
is
he's
a way
talking
you
about.
can
That's why
still
I've been
fight
laughing.
it.
I know so many cases here.
There is still
So
way you can fight it, but most of our men, well, most of us doesn't know our right, and we don't know what to do when such thing happens. And to hire a
You are
lawyer,
talking about
it takes a
US.
lot of money too.
Ajanito, you are talking about US. Let me finish our experience here. The only thing you can ask the court for is to see the kids. That is it. That is the only thing. It goes to even worse. Sometimes you have to take the kids to the police station to see your kids. That is what is going on here.
Thomas, please. I mean, what we are saying here, I mean, it's like you are giving excuses. You are giving excuses. This is not just. I mean, this is not an excuse. We are talking about what's the reason that the black women are not getting married. Are you going to tell me this is one of the reasons? Because if you marry a Caucasian woman or if you marry an Asian woman, she can still push you out of the house as well. So it's not an excuse regarding the topic. It's not an excuse. That's what I just want to say.
The reason why they're not marrying the black men,
But my brother, my
the reason why they're not marrying the black men is because the black men are not living up to expectation. They're not staying in order. And it's not just the men, not because the men don't want to marry black women, because the black women too don't want to marry the black men. But they are stuck. They want to marry, but they don't want to marry. So they don't have a baby and you stay my own.
The example that I gave you now, so many guys that are young, that are ready to marry, they look all this example in our black community here. Most especially, I'm not being racist here, most especially here, the Sudanese. Here, they are the worst here. They are, I will tell you, 60% of Sudanese, they are single women. And the kids are on the road, on the subway, smoking. I don't want to mention, you know what I mean. Because of single mother, the father cannot take charge of the house. Because immediately they kick you out, what the kids are doing, nobody knows. They join gangs, they join groups, they start smoking by 13, 12 on the street.
All right. Just something you said, Thomas. And maybe Kaya can respond to this just to hear that voice as well. So the age that the black man is wanting to marry now, are we comfortable to say that is the age by roundabout from 34 to roundabout 37? So the average black person, he's looking to marry at that age, and then he's looking to marry a girl in her mid-20s. So is that part of the problem that the black woman is contending, that they're just out of the loop generationally in terms of the men that are eligible to them and the women that those men want? Kaya, what would you say to that?
You know what? I'm not exactly sure about the age portion of it, but I will say I have a different kind of perspective on this. And my perspective is that oh, can you guys hear me okay?
Perfectly. Carry on.
Okay, great. So my perspective is that when the question is posed, can the black woman compete for the black man in this world, right? I believe that the black woman can only compete for the black man if black men and women unite, recognizing that the importance of us being united as a race, like across the world, because with globalization of the world, us as Black people, male or female, we are kind of at the bottom when it comes to our influence on other nations. When we look at what happened in Ukraine, where the Ukrainians were making the Africans, we stay behind. These are issues that we deal with because of the lack of respect that we have across the world right now. How do we increase that respect? We're going to need a unity amongst within ourselves, and it goes all the way down to the male and female. So when the question is posed, can the Black woman compete with,
But sorry, Kaya. Why should the black man? Why should they make a deliberate effort to form a relationship with a black woman when he has other
oh yeah,
options? The
great
Ukrainians,
question.
yeah. So there's nothing that obliges him,
Yes,
Kaya.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Great question. So, why should the Black man make a deliberate effort to be and unite with a Black woman? It is for his own well being over time and his children well being over time in this world. Because in this world, if we do not unite as a race, then we will continue to have the imbalances in what we experience today. So if the Black man believes that there is a chance for us Black people to regain our power in this world, in this global world, then he should definitely um, make a deliberate effort to be with a Black woman and to build on the Black race. Otherwise, he will be building into another race, which is effectively against us, which we know that. Yeah.
Have you noticed that phenomenon, Kaya? That increasingly the black man is having more and more options in terms of partners to pick, and that very much to the detriment of the black female, because the black female are traditionally their options are overwhelmingly is to go with the black man, and in instances to go with a white male, but they don't stray really beyond those two races. But now with the world opening up and shrinking to be like this new global village that they're telling us about, the black man
Mhm.
finds himself like the peak, the want of so many women. So his options expand, but the options of the black female is still restricted to what is traditionally is. And that seems to have relegated even further the black female. Would you agree with that? Why do you think that is?
I would disagree. And the reason I disagree is because the Black women can also make the decision to be with white men or men of different races. However, you see more of, I don't know if it's solidarity or more of Black women investing and staying with Black men because of how we um, believe in ourselves. Really, it comes down to understanding the way that we are viewed in this world, understanding how we are treated in this world. And when you recognize that, you understand, if you marry into a family that is not Black, then you are also marrying into that whole other culture. And a lot of times you're looking at being treated less than. And so a lot of Black women, we will prefer not to be treated less than because we know we don't deserve it. So instead, we would choose to stay with Black men and build up who we already are. And I think that's the main difference is we have a challenge with our Black men and sticking with our Black women. But it's not just Black men; it's everybody, Black men and the Black women who, although less, there are still Black women who go with other races, and the challenge with that is the same challenge we face across the world when it comes to how we are handled by other races. We lack a unity, and that unity really needs to, and it starts with the man and the woman. So when we want to have, we want to see more equality, we want to be treated right across the globe and doing business and whatever we are doing, going to school, whatever, we have to realize that as individuals, man and woman, have to unite in order for us to build and grow and be treated fairly. Because the more we give our energy to everybody else, the more that we are taking from ourselves and our own children who will be in a world that is less friendly to Black people.
Hey, Kaya. One man, Kaya. You see, it's so easy to say the black man and the black woman should come together, but I think we are not addressing the fundamental issue. And the fundamental issue is this: when you ask the average black man, what is the reason why he is going to the other race? The number one reason is the attitude of the black woman. It is an issue that must be addressed. What is that thing that happens that whenever they leave Africa and they come to the United States, they turn into dragons? I'm not talking about all of them, but the little ones, the little that we have amongst us, are the loudest. And when they are loud, they start recruiting these ideas, selling it to our younger ones in Nigeria, and this thing starts becoming an issue. Now you have seen the issue of divorce in the United States and in Nigeria also on the rise. And when you ask, what is the problem? The problem are those issues. Maybe the guy is still struggling. Issues of bills. It's not an issue for divorce. What happened? We have to start looking deep. It is for the United States. I mean, I think theirs is far gone. Theirs is far gone. And when I came in here in 2010, as of 2012, when I wrote the paper I wrote, I was warning Nigeria because I know that we love foreign stuff. Then what happened? Social media happened. Then feminism happened. Then now, when you ask Nigeria, feminism is a good thing. But Nigeria have their own brand of feminism. You see why I don't like the issue of lifting. That's the same problem we have with democracy, the same problem we have with religion. It's the same problem we are now having with all these ideas we are lifting, because we do not make it our own. We just take it hook, like sinker. You do not know when these people branded it, whatever they branded in their country, you do not know what they were going through, at what stage in their lives that they are. In Nigeria, there is nothing bad in borrowing idea. But when you borrow an idea, you domesticate it to fit your own narrative.
Sorry, are you putting a question? Yeah. So let me put. Thank you for that, Joe. Let me put this to you, Kaya. This is stereotype, of course, but I address it from your point of view. That the black female, she's too aggressive, and she's not. She's not demure enough. She's not submissive enough. Too aggressive. So there's an attitudinal problem with the black female. That is the stereotype, but then in every stereotype, of course, a grain of truth. So is there an attitude situation that the black female should address? Kaya?
I also think this is a great question because it calls to the forefront how we have been marketed to the world and to each other. The stereotype that Black women are too aggressive and crazy and all of this is a stereotype that has been perpetuated on the television, on many different media outlets, and that has taught us and trained us to believe that Black women are
but to be fair, Kaya, that's also the lived experience of a lot of people. It's the lived experience of a lot of people who find somewhat that aggression a bit excessive.
Yes, and it is also the lived experience of people of other races to see an aggression from their women also. But the reason that ours gets the spotlight is because it plays into a narrative that helps to divide us. So we have to realize that we are not more aggressive and more unruly and incapable of family. That is not true. And the reason we know that is not true is because all the way to date, we wouldn't have so many Black people on this planet if that was the case, if we weren't able to come together. So the truth of the matter is that for us as Black people across the world, we have to we have to combat the stereotype, and we have to realize the issue, the reason behind our actual trauma and problems, because all across the world we have trauma being on the bottom, being the lower class, being treated as if you are not as important as your white counterparts or whatever it might be. There is a trauma that comes with it because there is inequalities that you must suffer. So mm, this does create an environment where there are going to be some emotional challenges. But I think the healthiest way for us to address it is to really look into therapy for one another, and you know that that is a solution for us. That is the solution for us. It is not a solution to go to another race to solve that issue. That is something that we can solve within ourselves while still building with one another to increase our position in this world.
All right, Kaya. Let me put another question to you. Do you think the modern, so not that word, the modern, the contemporaneous female, the black female of now, do you think they are feminine? And if you do you think they are feminine enough? And also, do you understand why I'm asking that question? So, do you think they are feminine? And if you think they are feminine, do you think they are feminine enough? Do you think they're demure enough? Because some people will suggest that they're not.
I think that, first, of course, it depends on how you were to define the word feminine. And I definitely believe that, femininity is something that is inherent to women. As a woman, you are, naturally, you are going to have a certain feminine essence to you. Now, if
Sorry,
you
Kara. I didn't. Sorry, Kara. I didn't mean in physical attributes. I meant in mannerisms. Are they demure enough? Are they submissive enough? Are they compliant enough? So do they carry like a good example, which would be an extreme example, would be a Filipino sort of a woman, which is extreme. Nobody wants anybody that is that submissive. But using that as the template, do you find that the black female balances her femininity enough to make her attractive to the black male?
Mm. Yes, I do. I think but I also think it depends on the person because, I don't think that black women you can say an entire group, all of black women are submissive or all of black women are dominant. You can't say that because, everybody's different. Even Filipino women will be different. Now, I will say this though, globally, and I can specifically speak to the United States. In the United States, the way that we have been oppressed is in a way where it does place a woman at the head of the household. A lot of times, and there's different things. I think somebody earlier was talking about some laws that were put into place to basically divide the black family. And so, because of the way that we have been kind of how we've been positioned in this society here, you do find black women taking on a role that maybe they wouldn't take on if they were still in Africa or in certain places and in certain culture. I can't say Africa because Africa is a continent. It's a lot of different countries and cultures and everything. But I'm saying there's different influences that impact the way that a woman kind of goes about things. But I don't believe that we should throw each other away and say, oh, because you are not as submissive as I want you to be, then this people need to be thrown away. I think instead we should put forth more conversations like this where we talk about what we need from our partners and we listen to each other and work together. And I think that's the best way to go about it.
And one man, let
Yeah.
me just tell Miss Kaya something. Kaya, I'm happy that you're in the United States, right? Because you see, when we talk about these issues, when I came in here, I'm one of those that I was like, I want to really learn what is really, really going on, with us, the black race in the United States, and how things have become, right? See, I work in the health field. My first shock in this country was when I came to a club, right? And I was standing in line to pay, and I saw a woman walk in with a guy, right? And she was paying. It was a shock to me because I never seen that before, right? I never seen that before. Now, what that happened was that when I now started working in the health field, I found out that some women were working 5, 6 days a week. Look, there are certain things. I'm not saying that women should not work, but there's how there should be a limit to it. When you start working 5, 6 days as a woman, then that aggressive, you start building testosterone. You start being aggressive. And that is one big issue that I see here. The women are being overworked because when they are done with work, they come back because most likely if they are single mom, they come back, they take the kids to school. They have to wake up in time to go get the school and the kids from school. Then they have to do the cleaning and all that. So there is no way that aggressiveness would not be in them. So that's where I'm just trying to come from. Thank you.
I don't think that is unique or peculiar to the black female, though. But I think that's more of a modern day phenomenon.
No, the woman, see, if you have 79% of single motherhood in the United States, then the chances increases. That's my point.
All right. Also,
woman, can I say something there? Can I say something there? I think when you're speaking in respect of the United States, I think you have to also consider a major factor. The major factor is poverty. You cannot take away the fact that most of the black residing areas, like Chicago and all those areas, they're very poor. In fact, what you see mostly is gun violence and drugs and all whatnot, you know. So it's just like it's another Africa playing out because back home we're complaining of people not within the right age of getting married, not being able to do that because of the finances. And then in America, there's limited opportunities, which you can trace back to the history, and has not yet been sorted out.
I'm not sure you can say there are limited opportunities in America. If they are not, where else is there opportunity other than in America?
Yeah, but you just look at we started the story with the modern day black, not the first generation African. But now we're combining everything together. If you're talking about a black man, it's transgenerational. It's not from this day. It didn't start today. The black man is a story, but now we are bringing in the first generation African, where you are going to see a disparity because the black man in America will tell you that these Africans are coming here. You see, so you're bringing everything together now. You know, you're putting everything in one plate, and it doesn't.
Are you distinguishing between the black African migrants and the historic blacks diasporally? Are you distinguishing?
No. I think they are the same, but there is just like you have colorism, you also have the American trying to say that the Africans are coming in, they are taking the jobs. Just like we had that argument one time when a Ugandan guy played a role in an American movie, and the actors in America were saying, how come they chose him? Why not the guys living in America? You know, so there's a disparity. We have to just put things in perspective. In Chicago, you find there's no opportunity. They're lacking opportunities.
How do you know that? You're not from there.
No, I think they will tell you themselves. I think our people here will tell you themselves. You can't even walk around the street. You can't. It's no longer.
How are they lacking opportunities? They are not lacking opportunities. Opportunities are everywhere, my brother. Whoever wants to jump. No. Were you lacking opportunities when you came?
That's where they will argue with you again. They will tell you you are an African. You're just coming in. You don't know the situation.
Oh,
you
okay.
So, yeah.
So
you find it an opportunity because you're not you're not you didn't
Okay,
originate from there.
okay.
Yeah.
When you came to the United States, were you lacking opportunities?
Let's not argue. This is a topic for another day. It's
Okay,
broader than
so
you don't you're
please
oversimplifying it.
let not excuse them. Okay, we shouldn't excuse these people that will say they are lacking opportunities. There are some people from where they live. There are some people that would get up and say, "No, I don't want to live in this situation anymore."
Where
And they go.
you come from, you consider working in McDonald's an opportunity. For them, it's not.
Hold on.
Oh,
There are
no.
some facts. Can I make a point? Look, there are some facts.
Hold on, Brownberry. Let's hear from Ajale Coco.
There
Because
are some facts.
I've never been to Chicago, but I don't accept that they lack opportunities. I don't imagine, but Ajale Coco.
Well, there are some facts in what that guy saying that they lack opportunity. You see, there are some side that, I will tell you. If you go to South Side Chicago, where we have high crime, a lot of businesses have moved out from that place. So, and when you don't have businesses and, it's businesses that create job opportunities. So when you don't have them, so what are you talking about? So there's a problem there in the South Side where we have high crime rate. Every day, shooting and killing of people over there. Businesses are moving out from there. So no job opportunity. So there's some fact to that. I will not say the totality of the whole of Chicago, but
But that's the point.
side.
But that's the point, though, isn't it? There is opportunity in Chicago.
No, it's still limited.
Some areas are deprived.
Yes, there are still some limitation. So
my big brother, please let's not give them excuses.
No. Look, there's a
just
part
hold on,
you can even go.
I know.
South
We
side.
cannot. We cannot follow this media. We are just following what the media are saying.
Media. This is not media.
I know. Look, in South Chicago, when you drive out of South Chicago, whether you want to take a cab, you want to take a train, you want to take a bus, you can go anywhere you want to go in other GTA. I mean,
it's not easy like that. The way you talk about it, you see, some people.
So you gotta get it. Okay,
have...
most in this part of the world, most places you go for work, if it's too far, maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour, so they can't go to work for 1 hour. Must they work in their community? Must they work in their environment?
Dude, you have to understand something, that your perspective for life is different from theirs. You cannot judge for them. Speak for yourself.
That's right.
You understand? You can't judge for them. They tell you they lack opportunities. They do. You can't even get a loan in the bank as easy as another man would get. It's a fact. You can't start your own business.
Do you think
there's disparity?
Sorry, Xero, do you think us as a race, do you think we reach to victimhood too readily? Because
you want to say that it's victimhood because
thank you, one man.
Yes, it's kind of a victimhood because there's nothing stopping you. There are ways to survive, but when people live in a society where they want equality and it's not given to them, they tend to stick to victimhood. But you, as an African, you see the opportunities, but they don't see it because they feel like they've been in that society, they should be getting equal rights. But you, who's not in that society, you're coming from a place where your naira is like $600 to $1. You see it as an opportunity. They don't see it as an opportunity.
So it's a different mindset, like a different.
Yes, exactly. It's a different mindset, a different setting entirely, and you cannot get it because you're different from it.
So the dollar that I'm getting, where am I using it? Is it not here?
You keep explaining.
Sorry, Xero. There's a lot of background noise where you are. But the point that Xero is making, Brownberry, is that you are looking at it from a Nigerian mindset, which is to land on that at that airport, ready to go. That all the effort you made to get to America, you are going to make the most of it. But it's a different mindset to an indigenous American black. This is just me speculating. It's a different mindset to an indigenous black person who is of that country, from that country, and has expectations of that country equal to every expectation that any other person of that country would have. So it's a difference in mindset, which is not to say a lacking in ambition.
These excuses, and it's been going on forever. It's been going on
It's not
forever.
an excuse, though. It's a reason. You have to differentiate excuse and reason.
It is. Let me tell you something. Even from among them, there are people that will come out and go and start working and start living a good life. And what they will be doing? They will start, gossiping that person, calling that person that, oh,
yeah, but is that not a global phenomenon? They don't gossip about successful people in Nigeria.
We should not be giving making excuses for these people.
No, it's not
excuses.
There's
a lot of opportunities. These people just want to be there. That's just it. There's a lot of
they want
opportunities.
to be there. No,
yes,
I think that's a bit. I'm not sure that's a bit of an unkind. Even on
okay, okay. If you want to say so. If we want to keep making excuses for people, that cannot go. No. People that don't want to go to school, they don't want to learn trade. They don't want
to. And that's a sweeping. Those are sweeping generalizations. By the way, Ramberry, you know, because the preponderance is educated and ambitious. So it's just a small community of people that you're talking about. So that's not all of everybody. And what Xero is explaining is that your prism, your outlook, is completely different from their outlook, which is not to color how they see the world as a victimhood. Do you understand? Not to say you agree, but do you understand?
Blackberry, do you live in United States?
I live in both United States and Canada.
You live in United States and Canada.
Yeah.
Do you know how much law that you have in United States that are, how do I say it? There's so much injustice against Black people in United States. Particularly, we have a lot of laws that exist in United States today that, anti-progress for Black people.
No, I can't accept that.
Is it the law that
because you don't know?
Hold on, sir.
No, hold on.
Because you don't know.
No, I can't accept that.
Okay.
Are you saying? Hold on, Ajale Koko, to be clear on what you're saying. Are you saying they are creating laws specifically to target a particular demography in America, or they are misapplying the law? So those are two different things. Is it that they are applying it too heavily to a demography, but the law applies to everybody, or what you are saying that?
Yeah, I'm telling you, yes, they are applying it too heavily against. That is number one. Hold on, no. That is number one. Then number two. There are existing laws that have been in existence for years against the progress of Black people that are still existing today.
Cite an example.
The Jim Crow law. The Jim Crow law. The Jim Crow law was one. Like, it is one, but you see the thing. This is the thing, right? One man.
Joel, hold on.
But why do you want a Black woman?
We have a justice system that is completely disfavor or does not give justice when it comes to Black men issue, or when Black men.
Stop lying, brother. If you come to Africa, it's even worse. Africa is much more corrupt than the West. The West has never even got me any problem. When I come to Africa for 7 months, I already have a fake criminal charge.
Let me finish.
Stop lying. Africa is way worse than
hold on, Empire. Let him land that point, which I also disagree with, by the way, what you're saying, Ajale Koko.
The criminal justice system failed to dispense justice favorably to Black men in many instances. Many cases.
Can you hold on?
Okay.
Hold
Okay.
on, Ajale.
Many instances,
Hold
many
on,
cases.
hold on there. Hold on. Just hold on.
Yes.
Can I quickly
When
ask
I say
Ajale
hold on,
Koko?
hold
Can
on.
I ask?
Sorry, when I say hold on, that includes you. So hold on, Ajale Koko. So where you are now there, the criminal justice system, it weighs too heavily against the black person. But for the criminal justice system to weigh against the black person, does a crime have to first be committed? Or they just go and pick them up?
Yes. That's number one.
So a crime
That's
is
number.
committed.
Yeah.
But
When
then
the crime is committed, hold on, one man.
Yeah, no.
Hold on.
If the crime is committed, then
Yes.
that's already. Then you get what you know.
No. That's why you do. That's why
One man.
That's why you don't
understand
get it. Let
it.
me land.
You don't get
Let
it.
me land.
One man.
Let me land.
One man.
Let me land.
Ajale Koko, please, before you land, I'm going to ask you a question. Is this laws preventing them from going to school or from learning trade?
No, that one is a different ballgame.
It's not what we are saying.
Hold on.
That one is a different
They
ballgame.
do that, by the way. So don't keep saying that. They
That
go
one
to
is
school and they learn a trade. But Ajale Koko.
Yeah, that one is a different
Shout out to
ballgame.
Kulata for the $2 PayPal. Guys, please get some more donations in the show. Content creators spend a good time deal, so please, we want to see at least $20 more donations. They create
Can you just let us finish?
Your accent has
No.
changed.
The donators are the most important part of the show, so we have to acknowledge them. Shout
No,
out to
the
you guys.
conversation is the most important. But thank you. But well done for that. So back to you, Ajale Koko. I disagree wholly with what you said.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. We have instances where black man and white man committed the same offense. A black man will be put in jail for 10 years, and white man will be put in jail for 2 years for the same offense.
Let me ask you a question.
That is number one.
Let me
Then
ask you a question.
we are even on the education, you are talking about. Let me respond to that guy on education. On education as well that you are talking about. The education you're talking about. There are some counties here where they don't invest because a black-dominated counties, they won't invest much on the education there as they do on the white-dominated counties.
Who runs the black-dominated counties? Who runs them?
White. In most of the places.
White people run.
Yes. No. Hold on. You live in Nashville.
Yes.
Who is the mayor of Nashville?
The mayor of Nashville is a white man.
Okay.
Yeah,
but in Chicago. Hold on.
Can I make a quick comment before I leave?
Hold on. Let Ajale Koko land this point, and then we hear from you.
Okay, go ahead. Your Davidson County.
Yeah.
Your Davidson County. Which race is in majority there?
It's mixed. I would say 50-50.
No. Black is in majority. Go and check it.
No, black is not majority.
In majority in Davidson County.
No. What are you talking about?
Okay, let me listen to one man.
Oh no, I want you cannot make you cannot use an isolated instance to make the point. But the point I really wanted to start off with is that once the crime has been committed, I'm imagining in America, I don't live there, but I'm imagining in America, you cannot be walking down the road without breaking a law, and then they wrestle you to the ground and put you in handcuffs. So I imagine that you have
let me give context.
Okay, can you please? Sorry, do you mind? So let me land. So I don't imagine that you'll be walking down the road minding your business and they throw you on the ground and put you in handcuffs. I imagine a crime, no matter how little, has to be committed. So the moment you commit the crime, then you are subject to the law and the fullness of the punishment of it. So if we're saying they are over punishing the blacks for crimes that they treat somewhat as minor for the whites, that's a different space. But first, the crime has to be committed. And as soon as you commit that crime, then you have no space to quibble. Then you subject yourself to what the law permits.
So
I want to disagree.
When a
I want
crime,
to say why I disagree. Can I say this?
Sorry, Ajale Koko, let Kaya take that up.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Kaya, yeah.
Okay, so
Go on, Kaya.
one thing I want to first say is that a crime does not have to always be committed. See, what you have to understand about America is that the crime first is being black. That is a crime in the United States. Now, let me explain what I mean. When it comes to the United States, the establishment of this country, black people in the Constitution were 3/5 of a person. That is the foundation of which the country is built. 3/5 of a person, and not regarded as a human being, but as property. So, what that means is that the foundation of our country, the systems in which our country was built upon, is that black people are less than human, therefore, less than what is equal or humane to white people. So, the reason I bring this up is because this is a very positive conversation between Africans, African Americans, first generation, second, whatever it might be. And that's because when one thing I notice is with a lot of my African brothers and sisters, when they speak about the opportunities in America and they default, I hear some people, some people will default to the idea that Black Americans are not taking advantage of the opportunities. And I understand where you're coming from because, in your perspective, coming from the perspective of living in, say, Nigeria, for example, your view of America is a land of so many opportunities. How can someone not take advantage of these opportunities? However, what that perspective fails to recognize is that as an African American in America, we have been oppressed systematically over hundreds of years. And what does that mean? That means that our oppression has been dealt to us in many different angles and many different strategies, many different tactics,
You're breaking up a bit,
mind.
Kaya.
I want to say this. The reason I
Yeah,
bring this up
carry on.
is
Yeah.
the reason I bring this up is because there is space for us as Africans and African Americans and just Black people around the world. There's space for us to have an empathy for one another and an understanding and a compassion for one another if we are to unite together and to grow and to build up our people. And the reason is because there are factors at play that factors at play that are the reason that really play into why we see the poverty in African Americans that we see in America. And some of those factors include what the previous gentleman was talking about, including laws. There's also, you don't have to commit a crime in America. You will be stopped because, and they will tell you, you match your profile. Somebody, they'll just tell you, you match your profile. So therefore, we can stop you, we can check you, we can put you to the ground, we can do also when you're stopped, even if it's a say you have a light out on your car, your little light is off on your car, you have to have it on. They can stop you to tell you, give you a warning or a ticket. Well, the difference is you may get, instead of getting a warning or a ticket, you might get your seats cut open in your car. They may do a legal search on your car if you're a Black man, a Black woman, someone of a minority. The way that you are treated is differently. The police, not only just the justice system. See, again, that's just one angle. We've got the real estate industry, and see all of these different things. And again, let me just wrap it up and say this: we have to understand that the the reason that we are experiencing poverty, I don't care if it's in America, if it's in Africa, the lack of opportunities, and not only lack of opportunities, it's just the inability to reach full potential is because of our oppressors on this world. People can say, oh, in Africa, there's so many opportunities. There's so many areas in which there's development that can happen. And, why is it you're not doing this or that? But again, there are factors that are at play that are creating issues or have created issues that make it to where people are having a hard time getting up. Even in Ghana or in different countries, you'll have a company like Radisson, which is a major hotel, come and pay the locals pennies compared to what they will pay the same employee doing the same thing in their country. Even if the cost of the room is half of what it would cost in their country, they won't pay the employee half of what the other employee make. They will pay them pennies. So there's
That pennies.
many different factors that play.
Sorry, Kaya. Sorry, can you hear me? Sorry. That pennies that you said is relative, and what they pay people is relative to the economy of the country. So they cannot weigh the wages of let's say a hotel attendant, somebody that cleans the room, for instance. They cannot weigh the wages they will pay them in America against the wages that they will pay them in Ghana. Because if they want to draw parity between them, then you'll find that the hotel attendant in Ghana is probably being paid more than a medical doctor in Ghana. So it's relative to the economy and the space. So it's not relative to what they pay in terms of parity with other spaces.
Okay, but that's why you have to defend the man that says that there's opportunities. I don't understand it, because what she's trying to explain to you now is that if you're paying for this job, this amount, just make it democratic. Simple. If this job is paying for this amount, make it democratic. There's no excuses as this is what you get here and this is what you're gonna get here. Don't use that as a justice. That's helping this oppression. It doesn't help us. If you're going for a job and they say the pay is $25 per hour, make it round for everyone. Period.
No, you can't, is what I'm saying. If it's $25 in the United States for reasons of that economy, and then if it's $25 also in Uganda, then that Ugandan employee, in relative terms, is actually being paid $1,000. Because that $25 is equivalent to $1,000 pay in America, so it's relative.
What I'm saying is, if an American is coming to Uganda and is getting that 25 shillings, right? Or is he gonna get $50 because he's from America?
No, yeah, confusing me somewhat. But thank you.
Sorry.
Is that Babati? So
Yes.
Babati, you come in next, but let me acknowledge the super chats that have been coming into the conversation as well. It says they created opportunities we Nigerians enjoy. So this is Kulata super chatting to the space about opportunities or lack there. I would never ever accept that opportunity is lacking in America. Because that is only the narrative you ever tell us, that you are the land of opportunity. So if you are the land of opportunity, then how can you not be the land of opportunity?
One man. I think I can relate to what Kaya is saying, right? Because you see, there has been a lot of injustice done to the African Americans, and you see, my father would say, "Garbage in, garbage out," right? You cannot give what you don't have. Now, when they are telling you that there are generations of oppression that has been going on, that is a fact. You see, for someone like me, when I came into this world, I saw my dad, I saw my mom. I asked of my grandpa. They say my grandpa was a graduate. He did this. He owned the business. He did that. Many African Americans don't have that opportunity.
No. So sorry. You can't continue to perpetrate in victimhood.
No.
Hold on. Let me continue with the super chatter. Sorry. Let me read out this super chat. Then I will come back to you to make that point. But I'm making that point that I've just made both to you and to Kaya. But let me sweep up the super chats that have been coming in. Akulata still, it says redlining laws is an example. Explains wealth gap. So I'm not quite sure. That is probably specific and peculiar to America. Redlining laws is an example. So maybe you want to expand on that, Kulata. He continues with the super chat still, Kulata. He says, crime doesn't necessarily have to be committed. Stereotyping and unconscious bias weighs heavy. You can't measure the impact of institutional subjugat or subjugate or subjugation. I think he tailed off at the end there. So it's still narratives of victimhood. Thank you for the super chat, Kulata. But it's still somewhat. I'm sorry if I'm coming across a bit
let me
hard,
make a point.
but it's still you're subsisting in a victimhood and hiding behind historic experiences to then not want to evolve out of it because you have a ready-made space to hide behind.
One man.
Victim playing.
I understand the concept of victimhood, but I have lived among these people. Like I have told you, like if you came out, even in Nigeria, we have people that their parents did not go to school or they came out from hardship. You saw how their life became. Those people are like 70, 30. The world is against them. They need to work harder in order to make ends meet. It is not different from them. The difference here is that theirs was a generational thing done on them. And it's not going to change today. If we want to correct it, it is also going to take some generations.
No, but sorry, Joel. I'm going to make a counter to that, which is what Brownberry did. But I want Babati to take that on. Just
before Babati, let me say something, please. One man. Yes, one man. I am telling you, you're looking at United States from afar. You're reading about United States, but you don't know what is going on in practicality in United States. Yes, United States paint the picture. It's a land of opportunity.
Is it not?
Do we have opportunity?
Is it not?
That is, yes, a land of opportunity.
Well, there you are.
Discrimination. Hold on. Discrimination against the black by the system is heavy. Is heavy. Those of us that came from Nigeria that jumped into this system and scrambling to get one thing or the other doesn't know what an average African American child or children
let me ask you a question. Hold on, Ajane Koko. Don't go.
Yes.
Is there a different set of laws and rules for Nigerians as opposed to other blacks in America? Are there specific rules and laws for Nigerians?
Look, is that your question?
Because where I'm leading to is
your question.
How come within this system Nigerians are thrive and
okay? Let me tell you why Nigerians thrive. Nigerians came into this system with matured mind, right? We have no record, no problem, except some Nigerians that are not serious and they listen to a message of how do I say it? This what Yoruba says, that is, you should always remember the son of who you are. Whenever you are traveling out or you are going outside your community, your parents will call you and tell you.
Are the opportunities available to Nigerians?
Hold on, one man.
No, that's the question.
Let me answer your question.
Yeah.
Let me answer your question, for God's sake.
Well, go on.
We don't know the problem that African American child, black African American child went through in this system. Some has been destroyed right from the elementary school and secondary school, just for little offense. They put record on them that follow them anywhere, that discriminate against them wherever they go. We don't know. We don't have it. Hold on, let me tell you this. Hold on.
Let me help you.
It's such an offense that a black child we get, a white child we commit, and nothing will be done to that white child just because of discrimination. Imagine. Hold on.
I know where you're going, but
you don't know where I'm going. You don't know where I'm going. Let me land.
You want to say they have been mentally scarred by the system?
Not only mentally. The system already destroyed them by putting a bad record on them that follow them wherever they go, When they apply for good job, they will never get it. When they go to anywhere where they can better their life, they can never get it. So right from the kid, when they are from the kid, they already stigmatize them. They already put a bad record on them.
Let me ask you.
And let me tell you this: this is what I have experienced that happened to me myself. I went to a white neighborhood, walking on the street. I am one of my white friends. We walking on the street in that neighborhood, in that subdivision, but because it's white neighborhood, they call police on us. Can I tell you my experience? When the police came and asked, "Oh, what are you doing?" We said, "Yeah, we just came around. We just walking, trying to look at this neighborhood just for sightseeing. We've been passing here. Our car is over there. We just want to walk out, look at good houses and stuff." You know what the police told me? You know what the police did? The white police did? You guys don't know what is going on in America. He asked for my own ID. He ran my ID. He didn't run my friend, white guy ID. What does that? And I challenged him. I said, "Why is only my own ID you are running? Why did you run his own ID? Why didn't you run his own driver license?" And I went to the county.
All right.
One man. And I went to their county. Hold on. Let me tell you my experience. I am telling you my experience. Just listen. And I challenged him, "Why didn't you run his ID?" He said, "Oh, because he's run my ID and he see that everything is okay, that we don't have this thing." I said, "But in the first place, do we have no right to walk on the public street when I am not touching? We didn't mess with anything around this area." He said, "Oh, there was an incident recently. They burgled into house and stuff. So the neighborhood is people that call us." I said, "Okay, fine." You know what I did? I went into a police department in that county. I got the name of that officer, and I met the chief police officer, and I reported that this is the way I am discriminated. I felt that I was discriminated upon. They discriminated against me because I was on the public street. I did not commit any offense. Why must we be subjected into such ridiculous this thing? And this is the excuse they give me. The police officer, the head of office, the head of their department told me, "Well, you know, they don't have no other choice but to act when the people in the area called." You understand what I'm saying? And he said, because if they don't respond, if anything happens, they're going to hold them responsible. I said, okay. I said, that's why they act. I said, but what of why he didn't run the white guy ID? Why didn't he run his ID? I felt that is discrimination against me because I'm a black guy. And the officer said, well, he doesn't know why he did that. But I said, that is discrimination. And I took it up. I went to the administrative advisor of that county to report that I was discriminated. They gave me option. The person I met there gave me where I can file a petition against discrimination. And this is what I'm telling you. This is discrimination that black man suffer. This is discrimination that black man every day on the street in America. This is what we face every time.
Okay, thank you, Ajale Koko.
And do you know what will have happened if it if that resulted into altercation? To serious argument? Do you know I could be shot? All
right. Thank you, Ajale Koko. And I'm sorry for your experience, but that's not sufficient enough for me because I still there's a readiness to latch on to victimhood from the narratives that come out. Hold on. There's a readiness to latch onto victimhood from the narratives that come out of the United States. That is not to diminish the experiences. I could still hear the anger in your voice, so you're still angry about that. So that's not to diminish the experiences of the individual.
That is just only one I just gave you.
Hold on, Adale Koko. That's not to diminish the experience, and that's not to say there is no discrimination in America, and that is not to say that the American system is not weighted especially against the black population. That is not to try and diminish all of that. But even taking cognizance of all of that, I still feel there's a readiness, very easy to reach to, and go racism. And I'm saying that because there are Nigerians in the United States that are 3-4 generations deep. So they're not fresh off the banana boats. I'm talking about 3-4 generations deep, that their experiences has been excelling as superseding father. Another one taking the, so they just rise and rise and rise and rise. A lot of them in the White House now, all over the place doing well within the same system that you are saying is so traumatized people that they now rest in that trauma and not look to evolve out of it. So it's victimhood, victim playing. Baba T.
All right, good morning,
Can I
everybody.
say something? Can I
Baba
say something,
T.
please?
Let me
Baba
just.
T. Let Baba T.
I think we need to make a clear distinction here. Your achievement, well, let me just disagree with you slightly. Your achievements in education or in business has nothing to do with systemic racism. You can, I mean, I'm well educated as well, and I've had run-ins with the police for about 7-8 times in this country. And the last time I was nearly killed. The only thing that actually saved me was my scrub. My scrub going to the hospital was what saved my life. I would have been killed. So you can achieve all you want. You can be in the White House all you want. Does not absolve you from being racially targeted. I think we're discussing more of a systemic racism. This has to do. So let me agree with one when it comes to the victimhood in terms of tapping into the opportunities you have. I agree with you on that one. That you can sometimes they don't make do of the opportunities they have. I get, but when it comes to systemic racism, it has something to do with what you've achieved on your own. That means because of your skin color, you're targeted. And my 3 main areas is like healthcare, criminal justice, and housing. Housing is very easy to be racist against Black people because most areas don't make a lot of money. So let's say they want to price you out of the market now. They won't come to you and say leave the place. They will just put a mall in that area or put a stadium in that area. That means the value of those properties go up. That means your taxes will go up. Then you are forced to sell. Criminal justice, that is even obvious. Let me just skip that one. Everybody knows that is just there's a disparity. Let me give you the one when it comes to crack cocaine, for instance. You know what that did to Black Americans in the 80s, but government did not really pay attention. But what happened to the middle belt of America? They're having that issues with drugs now, and all of a sudden they are fighting for reform of the laws because it's now targeting white America more. Healthcare, I'm a healthcare provider, and I've always told people, find a doctor that is of your own skin color. Preferably if you're Nigerian, find a Nigerian doctor. And even in healthcare, there's racism, especially against Black women. And based on some research that we've studied so far, anything that has to do with cardiovascular issues in the ER, for instance, Black women have a lot of problems with that because they have different symptoms when it comes to cardiovascular issues, maybe for stroke-like symptoms. People are having left side weakness, they might be having right side. So these things are not well addressed. So when we speak about discrimination in America, it's not about what you've achieved. So when you keep saying that people are in the White House, it's not the issue. You can have all the PhDs and make all the money in America as a Black person all you want, but systemic racism will still target you regardless. Is the point.
That is the point, though. But I think that is where we differ in the conversation.
Yeah,
let me just label.
Let me say something.
Sorry, let me label this point and then I'll yield this space. Precisely that education and opportunity is what will trade you out of this space that you've just described. So it's all about perception, isn't it? So hold on. Let me make the point. Then you disagree. Sorry. So it's all about perception. So just for in loose terms, the Blacks in America are seen in a certain way, and off the back of that, they are vested upon in a certain way. But if they redefine who they are via the route of education and success, then like a good example is Ajanle Koko, who did not take the beating but went then to the station to report and then followed it through. So by the time he follows it through, for it to get back to that officer, he will have a second thought in his next encounter of a similar situation. So that's the route. But the easy way is to just rest in how things are so weighted against you and throw your hands up in victimhood.
No. That is the reason why I made a clear decision between the cushion, like if you the access to opportunities, like I agree with you on that part, that they don't make do of the opportunities. Like the classic one is in computer science, like in Houston, for instance. They literally beg them to come for that MS, and you see people coming from Nigeria, and they come here and they get, and it's free. People are just getting their computer science degree for free, literally, because they don't have enough black people that wants to access that thing at Palmville. So I agree with you
So
about
there it
them.
is.
But
then
that
if
is,
you get that, does that not bracket the
that saves you a lot of trouble. Like the same way I complain about me being foreign. That if you're a foreign healthcare provider, for instance, and you were educated, there's a level of respect as well. But I'm saying that on the other side as well, regardless of what you've achieved as a black person, there's also some kind of systemic racism. But like for me now in healthcare, nobody really cares that much about your skin color as a provider, because it's what you have in your brain that matters to them for the most part. They might discriminate against you, but if you're a smart chap, they respect that. But I'm saying that let's not also discount the systemic part of it, even though I know people are not making do with the access to the opportunities that they have.
Do people wrap that systemic part of it? Do they wrap it around themselves like some sort of comfort blanket, like a comfort blanket, and rest in victimhood?
And you see, that's the reason I became a Republican at 21. So because I know what you're speaking of. I was never a believer of those victimhood mentality of everything is racism. Everything is not racism, and everything is not racism as well. But if that makes any sense, everything is not racism. I think people just fall. I think they are a product of their environment, sort of. You live in an environment where that's what you've always known. You don't know no better. And one thing I've noticed is that like people that are very racist in this country, they tend to use Africans against African Americans to say, okay, look at these people that they're doing well, they're black. Why are you not doing well? So that's why that kind of anger comes in, where we are being used as some kind of buffer against racism to say.
And how is that question answered? How is that question answered? Hold on. How is that question answered, Ababati?
Then you go into this historical inaccuracies about, you sold us into slavery, those.
Also, his victimhood, isn't it?
Yeah, he goes into that. So like that one, I agree with you, but I'm saying that systemic racism does not regard your educational qualifications, regardless of what you've achieved. Is what I'm saying.
Well, the systemic racism, it doesn't acknowledge that, but your education and achievement, it combats it. Like Ajande Koko just exemplified.
In most parts,
can you listen to me?
Can I say something? Give me 1 second, please. In most cases, I agree with you that it helps greatly, and that's why they need to do better as a community. They need to do better in that part, but we cannot discount the systemic.
It's quite maddening. With the land of that, this is what they tell us. Because I'm not an American, as you can probably hear, they tell us that the land of opportunity. So that presumes then the opportunities are plenty, and they are the plentiful opportunities being taken advantage of by people that are even more foreign and alien to the system, to the point that they are thriving and succeeding. But then what we hear is, the system is weighted against us. The system, sometimes it rankles somewhat.
The racism is not so much in that. I think they focus so much on the outcomes, not the access to opportunities. I think that's the error that they have it backwards. That's the problem.
I would definitely.
Yes. Interject in a moment, but let's hear from Xero first, who's been itching to come in. Xero, go, and then you come in after him, Kaya. Xero, you wanted to say? Now it's frozen, and now it's gone. Oh, and there he is. So to you, Kaya.
Okay. So what I wanted to interject and say that sometimes as an American, I feel like I almost feel like we're in the future, and our African brothers and sisters kind of sometimes the perspective that I hear from you guys, it seems like it's lacking in a certain awareness. And when I say awareness, what I mean is that, the position of Black people in this world is a result of colonization, slavery, things like that. And it's important for us not to negate and forget how that actually impacts us now, today, right now. And the poverty that you see in America is can is it can be equated to the poverty you see in Africa. And I don't mean as far as the resources that are available and everything. What I mean is that, you can have somebody say, oh, why is it that, the African continent is the birthplace of civilization, but it's in ruin and people are starving in certain places, and there's lack of opportunity here and there when resources are incredibly rich throughout the continent and things like that. And a lot of the West can't even really do what it's doing without the resources out of Africa. So you can have people say, oh, what's wrong with those Africans? Are they just sitting? Are they just, being lazy? Are they just this, that, and the third? But the truth of the matter is that there are forces, and we know what those forces are, that are impacting our ability to live outside of poverty in a lot of cases, outside of ignorance in a lot of cases. And the people, African Americans, when you hear African Americans speak about the injustices in our country, it's not for to be a victim. It's not to take on a blanket of victimhood. It's to acknowledge the impact of uh, white supremacy and colonization, and that in our world, and how it does truly impact us. You can get all the education you want in the whole world. When it comes down to it, who is in power and how are those in power treating us as Black people across this planet? Let's be honest, Africa deserves a lot more compensation for the resources that it is sending out throughout the world. There is no reason that Congo, for example, with all of the extremely rich resources that are there, should people be living in the situation in which they're living in, right? But there are influences, and again, people think that because these different countries got independence from their European colonizers, that they received, that the independence automatically meant that they reverted back to their original power. No, what happens is you still have the same systems in place, the same ideas in place, and these things are impacting people. For example, when we talk about tribes and we talk about nations and things like that, prior to colonization, certain tribes were not required to come together under one particular government to do certain things and blah blah blah. This is because of the impact which is still happening to this day, these borders and things of this nature, right? So we have to, again, when African Americans speak and of the issues that we deal with in America, it's not to cloak victimhood and be lazy. It's to say, listen, for a lot of African Americans, there's opportunities that have been taken, and they have done well, but they also face systemic racism and systemic oppression, and also do Black people around this world. And it's important to acknowledge that, because if you don't acknowledge that, you will come to the country thinking, oh, all I need to do is get my education. I can rise above all of those lazy people. I can just, educate my way into a better life. And then all of a sudden you are looking on the news and you see your son, who is Patrick Loyola. And those of you who don't know about Patrick Loyola, he is a Congolese man who was recently killed by a police officer in Michigan for doing absolutely nothing. He could barely speak English. The police officer could tell that the guy was probably not even from America, but ended up getting him on the ground, after tasing him, shooting him in the back of the head while the guy is laying down on the ground and the police is on top of him. He could have done anything, but he chose to end this man's life. This is not only there's a Nigerian man who was married to a white woman who she killed him. And guess what? They let her go free, no issues. The family is still to this day fighting to try to get justice for their son. It doesn't matter how, and the whole family is educated. I'm talking about doctors and their family, everything. It doesn't matter. The point is, when African Americans speak about the issues that we experience, it's to make sure people understand that there is a bigger issue at play and that we have to acknowledge what that issue is, the strategies and tactics that are in place, and those of us who are wrapped up in underneath it, who can't get their way out, or maybe they try, but their struggle is something that we do not understand unless you are there, unless you're close to it. And so I understand the people who live in America who are on this panel who say, you know what, I'm close, I live in America, I see this, because again, some things you have to be there to understand. And so again, the reason I just say all of this is just to say that as African people, Black people across this world, we have to exercise an ear to hear each other, and we have to exercise empathy and compassion with each other, and recognize that we have to unite as people in order for us to move forward and gain our power in this world, our rightful power, our just power, because it will never be given to us, no matter how hard we learn in school and become a doctor in Western society. It won't matter. Again, we have to respect each other and recognize that there's a certain way we've been portrayed, and we have to be able to see beyond that.
All right, thank you, Kaya. So, Kaya, I want
Can
to
you hear
ask
me
you.
now?
Hold on. Can you hold on, please, X0? Kaya, I want to ask you a question, but I want you to reflect on it, and then I'll come back to you for the answer. So, I'm going to be seeking to round off here. So, I'm going to give everybody a 2-minute window to have a monologue, and then in that monologue, say anything you want to say. But my question to you, Kaya, is that is it time for the African Americans, the African diaspora from Latin America all the way through the Caribbean, is it time for them to start to have that thought of making their way back home? And you know where home is. So reflect on that, Kaya, and I'll come back to you for an answer. I'll seek to round off a 2-minute window, and we kick it off with X0. So X0, your thoughts.
Yes, one man. You just asked Kayak a question. I could just put it to you straight. You were hammering on education as a way to out of poverty. Yes, but you also have to ask yourself this question: what happens when everyone is educated? Then the problem starts all over again. Then we need to be what now? To ponder upon that. And then two, there's no excuse judging from the population of the black man in America. There is no excuse for the black man to be the highest population in the prison. It only boils down to one fact, that the government is allowing something to happen. There is nothing stopping the government from taking away the guns from the Chicago people, or taking precautions so that these things don't happen. Three, Adani Kuku and this kayak woman must be listened to. I think they have a vast idea of what's happening. One man, I tell you, we'll deal with this topic another day. I don't want to bore it too much, because we seem not to be getting. We're speaking from the African perspective, and that is why most times we get the Black Americans themselves irritated when we sound like this. We think education and just get a job is all that's there to life. No. If you can't reach your full potential, if you're walking around the street and you could be free, and you could be killed by the police, there's something really, really wrong with that system.
But that is an normal. Hold on. Because people go too easily to those examples. Oh, that you walk down the road and you get frisked by the police. That is an anomaly. That is not the norm. That is an anomaly. That is an aberration. That is an unusual thing. It's not the everyday experience of every black person. It's an anomaly.
She just explained to you how a decent young black man was shot, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah, it's making the news. It's making the news. Yeah, but it makes the news because it is an anomaly.
Yeah, but it doesn't make the news because it's an anomaly. It makes the news because every time a wrong is done, you need to protest. That is it. You don't have to sit back in home.
Well, if it's an everyday thing, if it's an everyday thing, it won't make the news.
Some people are doing that on your behalf. That is why it's making the news. If everyone sits back like you, then we'll forget some issues. But we don't have to, because it's really, really, really wrong. I don't want to bore this topic.
All right, brilliant. We will come back to this space again because I was just experimenting with this to break away from the endless Nigerian politics monotony. But certainly, it seems there's an appetite for this sort of a topic. So we'll go back to it. Tomorrow afternoon, we do it again. But I thank you, Xero. I know there's a lot more you wanted to add, but you know, as ever, we never have enough time. Let me acknowledge Kulata's super chat, and then I go on to Baba Akure to have his 2 minutes. So Kulata says Nigerian immigrants abroad enjoy selection bias. So I'll leave it to Adale Koko to explain to me what selection, or Kaya to explain it to me what selection bias means, because that seems to be above my pay grade. But thank you, Xero, as we go to Baba Akure. Baba Akure, are you there? 2 minutes slot to round off your thoughts. Okay, we don't appear to have Baba Akure. So let's go on from Baba Akure to Joel of Nashville. So let's go from Baba Akure to Joel of Nashville. So Joel, just a literal 2 minutes just to monologue about things you've not had a chance to say.
Okay. I'm going to make it this way. I'm going to let you know this because I've had a discussion from Kaya Ajelekoko, and I have my own experiences too. But time will not permit me. But I just wanted to know that I have been discriminated against this as well. And there are two Americas. There are two America. The one that they let you see, and the one that we experience. There are two different America. And for those of you that just travel to United States and stay 2 weeks, and you travel back and you say, "Oh, America is this America." No, you do not know America. In Aba, we say when you bend down, you see Aba. That is one part. They select the selective bias that we enjoy as Africans that came into the United States is real, as stated by Kulata. And
what is that selective bias? Sorry, that term is
like let me tell you, for instance, right? So I was stopped by a cop, right? And I was stopped. My car stopped on the roadside, and the cop came to. It was around like 9-10 o'clock at night, and the cop was driving by. The first one passed me, did not stop. Quite unusual, because I was like, the second one passed me, and the third one now stopped by, and I was like, "Hey, so I need a jump." Right, so he now asked me a question again. He now helped me, jump my car. Then when he wanted to get into his car, he said, the reason why I stopped was because of your accent. Keep your accent, because it might save you tomorrow. These things are real, and I have seen this thing happen. But the thing there is this: when he told me that, I knew that I was in trouble, because if you tell me that, then tomorrow, when you do not see those people that you're looking for, you will surely come for me. So the story of the African American is the story of the Black man, is the story of us all. We have to dig deep and start talking about the real issues facing us as Black people, because they are breaking us. They are breaking us, gradually. And these things are going on systematically that we don't know. Here they suffer slavery. In Africa, we suffer colonization. In all of it, the white man never left. White man, this is a deep topic. You might, maybe we can do an African afternoon session, maybe on a Friday or on a Saturday, on this issue, because it is deeper than they just meet the eye. Thank you very much. I love you.
I'm sorry, Joel. Lastly, healthcare, right?
Lastly, please. That is one of the reasons why we have to make the motherland right. And the motherland being right starts with Nigeria. And Nigerian being right starts with Peter Obi.
You couldn't help it.
I could not end without that.
Yeah, take a question from Baba.
Sorry, Joel, you're in healthcare, right? And there's racism in healthcare. You're a healthcare
provider. I wanted to support you then, but I did not want to just interject. Look, let me tell you one thing that happens, right? One thing I noticed. When a Black woman says that she's in pain, they do not believe her. But the moment you have a white woman say she's in pain, she's on oxycodone. In fact, before she gets into the facility, they already provide those things for her. There is a systemic racism in the system. And Babati, I cannot go further than this.
No, all right, brilliant. All right, thank you, Joel. So anyway, let me not do that. But you know my stance. There's a systemic racism in the system, as it is in the United States. Here in the United Kingdom, everywhere there is predominantly white dominated. So, but within that, you cannot surrender to that narrative. Is essentially my point. And there's an undertone of surrender that not in just in this conversation, but throughout these conversations that I've been hearing over time and space. Anytime that this topic comes up, they layer all the victim spaces and then hide under it.
We cannot dismiss it as well.
No, we can't dismiss it.
Even though I agree with you, but we cannot dismiss that it's the reality in some way.
No, it is the reality, but is that the end of it? Do you plateau there, or do you?
No, you don't give up. I get you. You don't give into it, but at the same time, you don't dismiss it as well. Is my point.
No, of course. And if I'm coming across as dismissive, please apologies, not to you, especially Babati, but anybody hearing me. But my frustration is just that undercurrent, undertone of victimhood, just layering all the excuses and then hiding under it. Alexander, good to see you. Unmute.
I don't know. I see a departure from the normal format. I'm hearing some of the very heavy African American accent. Obviously, an African American woman. And I'm trying to understand what's going on. What's going on today?
No, I just thought to vary it. Every day Buhari is a bastard. We know Buhari is a bastard, but just to change the topic, just to pivot a little bit.
Okay, so what's the essence of the topic actually?
No, we started off with is the black woman, can the black woman still compete for the black man in contemporary times, given the level of competition that there is for the black man now, with the Eastern Bloc opening up and all these Ukrainian, Russian women coming into play, with the Philippines opening up, all of those Asian countries opening up, the Middle East opening up a little bit, Turkey, etc., etc. So the options are plentiful, and globally, the world female population is desirous of a black male. So the black man now becomes a bigger prize, but then the black woman, then she doesn't have first dibs anymore. So she's actually falling that much further in the pecking order, to the point that we are seeing the 30-somethings and the 40-somethings single for life.
I don't know. This topic is something I have to think about. I don't know. All I know from an African perspective, from an American perspective, is there's a lot of hidden racism in America. I joined the platform about 10 minutes ago, so I haven't been listening to everyone contribute. But I did hear a bit of Papa T talking about him being in the healthcare profession and all that. But the black man is always the lowest of the pecking order when it comes to race. I don't know. I always say this. I really, really haven't heard anybody define to me why the white man thinks he's superior to the black man. I need.
No, but do you not know though? I mean, come on, Alexander.
No,
let's not be disingenuous. The white man has every right. He has every right to feel superior to a black man. Does he not?
No,
I don't think so.
He's always had the whip hand over you all through time and space. So why would he not feel superior to you?
I think slave trade caused all this, that the white man thinks that he can look down and talk down at African people. That's what I think, and I'm speaking from a very strong experience. I think that's what it is. I think there's some very, very, very good black men in this world who can compete on any level.
Sorry, Alexander, to interrupt you, but do you not feel that the white person has justifiable reasons to feel superior to the black person?
No, I don't actually.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Why would
feel.
Why would they not?
Justifiable. Like, one man, I'm amused with you, that comment.
No. But to that though,
You don't. I don't feel that any white man born of a woman is superior to me as a black man. I've never
You
felt
are
like
at his
that.
mercy. He's not at your mercy. You are at his mercy.
We understand that, but I mean, I ask myself every day, are they the ones controlling the world? Yes, yes. The white man is the one in charge of the world as it stands today. Why? But why must he think that why must he look down on a black person?
Would you
I know we
consider
do.
that a white man would you consider that a white person controls your destiny?
No, white man don't control my destiny.
You don't think
No.
so?
No, I don't. I
Mama, what is
absolutely
going on? We need to talk about this one for this. We need to talk about this one on a bigger plan later on. You sound like a white supremacy apologist.
No, I'm not. I'm not a white
that's the way you're
supremacist.
coming
Though
through.
I'm a black
No,
realist.
like that's the way
You
you're
know,
coming through at this point.
I'm a black
What is
realist.
going
You
on?
know,
Like you have this inferiority.
No, I'm a know your man now. How can I be inferior? I'm a know your man.
let me say this. One thing that I learned growing up in London is my father always told us the only thing that a white man respects is quality education. If you that's one thing that intimidates the white man. When you come across very educated and you can hold your own, they're not impressed with material things. You can wear $1 million watch like Nigerians do. That's what they expect of us. You can wear a gold chain of $200,000. The white man means nothing to the white man. But when you sit down with him, I said this on your platform all the time. When you sit down with him and you speak to him in his own game, in his own language, even in a better way, he gets intimidated, because by our very nature, black people are very intimidated. So that's it. That's the only thing that I see that my father always told us growing up. Education is the key, and that's why Nigerians are respected all over the world, because of what we bring to the table. Some of the most intelligent people in the world, from nuclear scientists to medical doctors to attorneys, are Nigerians. So it's just that we have but Nigeria should not be where we are today, and that's why when I was watching this, I sent you a message this morning. This morning about 5:30 in the morning, I started crying because I saw this your Yoruba girl win the world championship. I saw the pride she had as a Nigerian, and I said, "This is who we are. We are."
Sorry, Mr. Gomez. What was your reaction to what my Johnson said about her winning? She.
No, I didn't.
That was terrible.
Babachi,
Yeah,
I didn't. Quite frankly, I didn't catch all that. I was browsing through my phone and I saw Amuson, but being pronounced Amazon. So I was wondering what was going on. So I watched the clip and I saw this Yoruba girl jumping over the hurdles and winning the world championship and breaking the world record. And I saw her celebrating. I saw her weeping when they were singing the national anthem. I just started crying. I had so much pride that this is what we used to be. We are the number one black race in the world, Nigerians. But our leaders have failed us, and it hurts me every time I come on this platform and I talk about this, because I know where we were before, and I think we need to go back to where we were before. I heard this English guy, the way he was talking about Nigeria, I was just so full of pride watching this thing, and it made me cry. I shared a tear, and I sent a message to one man talking about it. Look at what we can do as a people. That's who we are, and we're not supposed to be where we are today. But corruption and this religion is killing us. And Tunde Fashola, I don't know whether my brother is on the platform right now, Jewel. I think Tunde Fashola has critically and thoroughly answered your reservation about this Muslim ticket. I think you should, if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it, learn from it. I'm going to be in Nigeria campaigning for my brother very soon. He's going to be the next PDP senator from Lagos. I'm going to be there in Lagos campaigning. If you come into Lagos, let's meet. I would personally arrange a meeting with you and I and Tunde in Bode Thomas, sit down and talk about matters like this. That is it, man.
All right, brilliant. Thank you,
Alexander.
Mr. Gomez, sorry, Babati. I want to.
You still owe me a golf game, by the way. You still owe me a golf game in Sugarland.
No, when you come over, we'll talk about that. When you come to Houston, let me know. No problem.
All right,
I owe you. I got you.
Oh, all right, brilliant. Thank you, Alexander. So from Alexander, let's go on to Celibes, who may or may not still be with us. Celi, are you there? Celibes. All right. After all that build up, look at that. She's gone to raid the fridge again. Have you gone to raid the fridge again, Celibes? So
No, I was listening. I
all
was
right.
really enjoying the conversation. I was just listening to you
All
guys.
right. So we've gone through plenty. We started off with the fortunes of the black woman, and we ended up on racism. But we've come towards the end of the session now. It's a literal strict 2 minutes. So you get that space to just share thoughts, Celibes.
Yeah. I mean, on the aspect of the black women, whatever you call them, I think the pressures are there, but the natural thing is that I think the black woman is still sustaining to a very great extent, whether it's beauty, preservation of beauty, looking better at any age, knowing how to look after the family, respect, in fact, being subservient. I mean, for that matter, I mean, someone said, "Oh, black women, we are very subservient." I mean, we're becoming a little bit more assertive because we're of course, there's an opening too. We are learning a lot and learning how to also manage the modern day life, which is inevitable. We cannot continue in the same way that we've always been. So, I mean, I was listening to Clay. I don't know. I think she spoke very well. A woman like myself. She basically gave you everything that you needed to hear. That just because we've got some pressures and maybe at times the black woman might be seen to be. I mean, we come from a very aggressive world where you have to struggle, to survive. So we are survivors, and therefore, so when things happen and we know we haven't got papers or we haven't got any other means or tools of, weapons of getting back at the situation, but we get hysterical. It's natural. So I wouldn't say that black women are like aggressive or insultive and all that kind of thing. If you want to go, by all means, let me tell you something. The person who mentioned the Filipinos, especially, I remember when I was working with the social services.
That was me, by the way, but carry on.
Yeah, one of my colleagues, right? He was married to this Filipino girl and all that. But eventually, did you know what happened? This Filipino girl was working as a cleaner in the hospital. She ended up having a baby with a doctor. And this guy was still there, sheepishly following this. Eventually, she kicked him out of the house. So this is a Filipino girl and a white guy whom you would have thought, had all the power and everything, but she kicked him out. So it's not just in Nigerian community or in African community that this kilo oko, what is again? Yeah. It's everywhere. Women are becoming a little bit bolder, and sometimes a lot of these women that have left their husbands, some of them go through a lot of beating and all kind of things.
All right.
So the other women bring her out, take her out, and tell her, listen, this relationship has got to end for your own good. But anyway, we are surviving, so
all right,
let's
brilliant.
not take sides.
All right, brilliant. Well put. Always a delight in your company, Celibi. So thank you, Celis. So we go on to Thomas, and that 2 minutes being strictly enforced. So at 2 minute monologue from you, Thomas.
Oh, thank you, one man. Thank you for this this program you have today. I would just employ our black ladies. Let us not forget where we are, where we come from, and our culture and our values. Many things that happen here, the example I cite for you on the first, many of them think, now I am arrived, I can I can work, I can earn money. Now I don't need a man anymore. And I don't know where they get all this perspective from. And people and the guys on the street, the guy that is ready to get married,
they scare them away. For the people that are ready to marry, I'm talking about our ladies. The guys, they are scared because they think the same thing those one that has gotten married and got divorced or kicked their husband house, take the possession of the house. They would think maybe they would do the same thing to them in the future. So they are just here, one man.
Oh,
At
all right.
least I can count like 10. If you need husband, just contact me. Wife, girls, they are just here, one man. I hope they will learn from what we are speaking from today. Thank
All
you,
right,
woman.
brilliant. All right, brilliant. So thank you, Thomas. So from Thomas, we go on to Babati. The Babati, that 2 minutes are literal 2 minutes.
All right.
Babati, the prince.
Yeah. So let me just keep it straight with you. You know, as a former red pill man, you know, I think red pill is just like where you just go to school, learn, and you graduate from. I can tell you that. Basically, this so-called women having problems with black women having problems with marriage or whatever, is them joining the wrong camp. Feminism was not designed for you. You joined the wrong group and you're paying the consequences for that. But that's a different topic for another day. We'll address that on a different platform or different topic. But to the issue at hand, when it comes to racism globally, I think we have to analyze critically the impact of slavery and that of colonization and how that's dealt with black people across the globe. I always talk about colonization in terms of the Matrix. If you've seen the movie, when the Smith puts his hand inside the body of a different person, and that person becomes him, and he says, "You're me now." So it's like we are raised as Africans to be like a low budget white person. So when we come here, we have that mentality of, even though I'm not white, I'm not black either. You know, I'm not Black American. So you have that superiority complex as well. So even though we think they have that, I think we have some kind of that mindset as well. In America, healthcare largely, Jura, maybe a different time we can talk about that largely. I mean, I've walked into the patient room and they've asked me if I came to pick up the trash, and I'm like, no, I'm your provider today. I'm going to be taking care of you. I'm going to see you in the clinic. That's been that disparity where they think you're one thing and you're something else, and they immediately respect what is in your head, not the color of your skin. But that is a systemic racism that, or the mindset that I was speaking to earlier in the conversation. In the criminal justice system, I mean, I worked in the prisons for a while, seeing patients over there. That's just a terrible. I know there are terrible people in the prisons, but the way they are treated in that system, I mean, if you're black or brown, I mean, good luck with you. If you're serving 20 years plus in the prison system, it's an awful environment. And the housing thing I was talking about earlier, I think that the word is gentrification. One man, gentrification. That is systemic racism. They will just put a stadium in your environment. They will put like a mall, and they will price the black people out of that system. So I think that's what's going on. So even though I agree with you on the victimhood that is kind of overplayed and kind of fed into by the politicians like the Democrats to win votes, we cannot also discount the impact of systemic racism as well. Thank you for having me. God bless everybody. Have a good night. One man, how are you feeling today? Are you better?
Yeah, much better. Thank you. You're the only person to ask. So thank you, Babati. Babati, the prince of Egbaland. So thank you, Babati. From Babati, we go on to Kaya. So Kaya, you are up next. So the question I asked you, but then a monologue from you for 2 minutes or thereabout. Closing remarks, Kaya.
Yeah. So I just want to say, 3 points. So the first point is that, the question of whether or not Black women can compete with Black men is equal to the question of, can Black people compete in this world? And if we cannot, and when I say compete, I mean globally. If we cannot compete globally, then Black women also cannot compete with other women for Black men. Another point that I want to say, and the reason I said that is because one of the strategies that our oppressors use in order for us to be second class to them is divide and conquer. And one of the divisions is dividing men and women, dividing our families, which is the family is the smallest unit of a society. Basically, that's where you start to build. So by dividing us up, then that allows more opportunity for our resources to be stolen out of Africa. So the reason I say those things, and I want to pull it together with your answering your question that you said earlier. When I look at, you said, should we go back to, should Africans across the diaspora be looking at going back to Africa? Something I want to say right before I answer that is that, sometimes when I look at America and I look at the situation of African Americans and I look at Africa and the situation of Africans, sometimes I feel like I'm in the future and I'm looking into the past when I look at when I look at Africa. Because even to hear you guys asking this question to me is got West written all over it. It's something that we've been dealing with in the West for decades. And to hear it come to Africa is something I already kind of expected eventually would happen, but to actually see it happening it just confirms for me that these are strategies that are employed in order to keep us divided. Now, to answer your question, should Black people come back to Africa? I would say yes.
Sorry, Kaya. Sorry to just interject a little bit. When I say come back to Africa, I don't mean literal pack up your stuff and move to Africa, but have that reconnect back with Africa, either through visiting, either through paying attention to the space more, just to realign your thinking, to reconnect with the space, and having the option either to move there or not, but having that association that is where I'm from.
Good question. Yes. So I absolutely I say yes to that. I think that's important for all of diaspora as well as Africans to understand the importance of Africa and building Africa. And the reason I say that is because with us as a people, Black people across this world, if we don't build our own continent, then we are looking at continuously being at the bottom everywhere we go. We have to build and we have to gain our respect for ourselves in our country. In Africa, Africans need to be putting Africans first. There's a lot of places where, they're putting Chinese first or white people first or whatever in different, situations. And so I think that yes, African Americans in the diaspora do need to be bringing our talents back to Africa, investing in Africa. Because honestly, let's be honest, the West is already investing in Africa. You've got people all over the world, making money hand over fist. Like I talked about earlier, you've got companies who are established companies in the West. They'll bring their business to Africa, pay the locals pennies. The locals can't even afford to eat at the restaurant. The locals can't even afford to sleep in the hotel. They will pay them pennies and they will make dollars from the people who are, the customers. So and someone said earlier, the way to get a respect from white people is to get an education. No, that is not true. If they were to respect us, think about it like this: the only way we will have respect is if we develop self-reliance. Because if we think that we're going to get an education and go work for this Western system that is also simultaneously discriminating against us when we apply, these same businesses are polluting water in areas where there's mainly Black people. They're distributing food, making food deserts where in certain communities Black people can't even barely get adequate nutrition. That's happening here in America. There's so many different angles to it. But what I'm saying is, even if you get an education and you're working for a system that is against you, it's not really that's not respect that you're getting from that system. You're just becoming another wheel in that turn. And so again, I just say, ultimately, as Black people across this world, we have to invest in each other, and we have to invest in our continent, and we have to put us first in our continent. Yeah, I think that's the best that we can do.
All right, brilliant, well put. So brilliant, well put. So well put, and I think the audience there is somewhat impressed with If not what you had to say, it's certainly the way you articulated it. So please, whenever you have a chance, join us again. So that's Kaya, a new voice to conjure with. So, but the voice that you all come here to listen to, of course, the mighty one, Ajanle Koko. Ajanle Koko, try and condense it just as much as you can. We're heavy into hours now. The final word, Ajanle Koko.
Thank you, woman. And let me congratulate all of us for our daughter that won that broke the world record in 100 meters. Congratulations to Nigerian, congratulations to Yoruba people, and congratulations to the people of Ijebu-Ode. You see, history has a way of repeating itself. The first female that won medal for Nigeria as well was a Yoruba person. Was from Ikorodu, if I'm not making mistake, either from Ikorodu or Ijebu, one of the two, Modupe Oshikoya. So the record is there. We brought honor to that country all the time, and it is left for the country to honor the people. So on the issue of the women, I think our women have a big responsibility before them, and one the greater responsibility, what they need to adopt is to go back to the African tradition and culture and the moral value. They have jettisoned that African culture or tradition, the moral value. They have jettisoned it. They have adopted Western